Hey, what's up, brother?
A BB for Hodier.
A BB for Hodier? What's that?
It's African liberation, brother.
Oh, you got that knowledge, brother?
Knowledge, brother? Do you want the knowledge?
Every brother looking for some knowledge.
Look, if you're looking for the knowledge, let me tell you what the knowledge is. Just go to www.waronhorizon.com. Click on the store link. They have DVDs on religion, black freedom fighters, homosexual war against the black race, black male-female relationships, the dangers of interracial mixing with whites, sexual abuse in the black community. Then they have the DVD lecture series on racism, white supremacy, the history of white-on-black genocide, and the powerful impact of the entertainment industry on the black race.
That sounds serious.
It's definitely serious, brother.
I hear what you're saying, brother, but sometimes I don't have a week to wait for something to come in the mail. You know what I'm saying?
Not a problem at all, brother. All the DVDs are available for electronic download, which you can get same-day delivery for $15 each.
Hey, man, I know it's only $15 and everything, but the economy kind of rough. You know, brother's pocket's kind of tight, too.
Look, brother, that's not a problem at all. For $1 and $2 a piece, you can order any radio program available on the site.
Man, so look, y'all got any sisters down with this thing?
War on the Horizon? Sisters? Of course. War on the Horizon also features Children of Southampton products. They have the 2009 and 2010 Nat Turner Day weekend celebration. 1831 Turner Street featuring them Memphis boys, Brothers Keeper.
Okay.
Have you ever heard Sister Nefertari lecture?
I haven't.
You gotta check out that 500 years of dark skin versus light skin.
Look, man, this stuff sounds kind of serious. They're not preaching hate on it.
Yes. Huh? You hate being oppressed, don't you?
Whoa. Brothers and sisters, we'll see you on the battlefield. War on the horizon. Gotta look.
This content may not be suitable for Euros, Negros, and Homos.
The devil ain't got horns, he got buttermilk skin. It's time to make this cracker pay the penalty of sin. Lynched and hung for the color of our skin. Pay back like that, let's begin like this.
Hey, brother, did you try that new restaurant down the street?
Yeah, I went there yesterday. Man, the food was off the chain. And the chicken was like, how they be saying it? Like, to die for.
Whoa.
To die for.
To die for, brother?
I'm saying, I mean, the chicken was good. You know what I'm saying?
Can't you just say the chicken was good? Does it have to be to die for? That sounds a little intimidating.
Did you wear skinny jeans while you were eating the chicken?
Nah, I'm saying, I would say it was good, man.
Was it rainbow chicken?
Hold up, man. I just wear a
milk with a sparkly buckle on it. Like
was the server doing a sissy bounce?
Man, I'm just saying, the chicken was good. Look, man, the chicken was good, no homo.
Nah, it's time has passed for no homo.
You're supposed to say it before, brother.
It's like a disclaimer.
I can't say, I just said no homo, though. There's no regulation on when you can say no homo. What are y'all, like the regulatory governing body over no homo or something?
Brothers and sisters, don't get caught up. Don't let the homosexual poltergeist pull you in. We are the final front in the war against white sex. Stand strong. This African service announcement has been brought to you by War on the Horizon Radio.
War on the Horizon. You gotta love it.
No homo.
Man, oh, here we go again, man. Two gay dudes kissing on the bus. That's what I'm talking about. You gotta be, man, they trying to turn everybody gay. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Nah, brother, I really don't know what you're talking about.
I'm saying, you see the bus, you see how they got the two dudes kissing on the joint. It's like commercial. Everywhere you go, everything gay. Youngers walking around with these little, the baggy fit jeans and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, brother, do you have hate in your heart?
What?
Yeah, that's not the Christianly thing to do. You should love our neighbors.
Man, I ain't loving no gay neighbors, Joe. It ain't say you gotta love your gay neighbors. It don't say love your neighbors. It don't say... I ain't talking about neighbors. I'm talking about faggies. So you saying you love faggies?
What I'm saying is, love is the most powerful force in the universe. And Jesus came to show us how we should love our brothers.
Man, you sounding real gay right now, talking about loving some brothers. Hold on, Joe. Look, if you want to tell me something, just let me know. I might be preaching to the choir, man. I'm saying, the faggies, talking about loving, you know what, man? Forget this, man. I'm going to walk. Peace. Brothers and sisters, sometimes your arms is not long enough to box with spooky in the sky. Spend your time where it's most useful. This is the African service announcement. War on the Horizon. We'll see you on the battlefield. War on the Horizon. You gotta love it.
It's me, my Alpha baby, Southside, worldwide. Why my people dying on the grind high, trying to provide for pride, plotting devise, they trap and divide and capitalize. Stop sleepwalking, lover, open your eyes, open the sky, see the stars. What do you mean you can't fly? Propaganda got you thinking fate is homicide, hoping that you see tomorrow. Look at you searching, all up in the church, but the pastor can't reverse it. We all immersed in this. Only we can proceed with the surgical fix. Now listen, open heart like Dr. Daniel H. Williams. We gotta stop the killing, then we can reign like God cut the shower on. I cannot be tamed. Come and let me show you how to aim. For this war, you'll need your third eye. No more maladaptiveness, pick sides. No more murder, one less organized. Like a Fortune 5, play the game like it's 4 and 5 to survive now. For this war, you'll need your third eye. No more maladaptiveness, pick sides. No more murder, one less organized. Like a Fortune 5, play the game like it's 4 and 5 to survive now. Control the giant. The giant must see the midget as a giant. Himself as a midget. It's psychoscience. Free your mind and change your thoughts. Take the chain off your frame. What you see is war. BIC, Black Inferior Complex. We can uproot all this poisonous nonsense. Until we do, no contest. I spit fire, 1, 2, mic check. Master the language. They mask wicked things with vocab that we can't grip. Hold fast, everything can worsen if we ignore the soul's inner workings. I'm shielded by surface, the hoodie in the person. When I write, spit, articulate the way the earth circles like a whirlwind. Jesus never came. Come and let me show you how to aim. For this war, you'll need your third eye. No more maladaptiveness, pick sides. No more murder, one less organized. Like a Fortune 5, play the game like it's 4 and 5 to survive now. For this war, you'll need your third eye. No more maladaptiveness, pick sides. No more murder, one less organized. Like a Fortune 5, play the game like it's 4 and 5 to survive now. Drug fiend, a crime system needs a criminal. Sellers need buyers, they condition us to spin a loop. Keep our habits visceral, second nature. First they play on our scene, then they captivate us. Using social agents, black celebrities, pedal for payment, the corporate way in. Control your desires and cravings or live in mayhem. It should be coming crystal clear that our ignorance is beneficial. Here, in other words, they control what you like and value. Our beliefs and the deity we bow to. Through this foul view, it's impossible to see the roots. The flim-flam Trojan horse tactics that they use, cameras capture every view. I can teach you subterfuge, they're never out of range. Let me show you how to aim. For this war, you'll need your third eye. No more maladaptiveness, pick sides. No more murder, one less organized. Like a Fortune 5, play the game like it's 4 and 5 to survive now. For this war, you'll need your third eye. No more maladaptiveness, pick sides. No more murder, one less organized. Like a Fortune 5, play the game like it's 4 and 5
ain't necessarily that it happens to a black person, but that people of color who have understood the historic forces of degradation can identify with other people who are similarly arrayed in the global landscape. Those folk who ain't got the ability to eat every day, who can't determine who governs them, the people around the globe who don't have the ability to eat every day, healthcare insurance, that allies us with them wherever we discover them. And finally, when we think about the fact that in the name of America, with the possibility of expanding democracy, we have shrunk democracy. We have argued against the independence of people where they are. We have to have what Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. and Fannie Lou Hamer and Ella Baker had, and that is a global perspective. They were revolutionary internationalists because they understood what goes on somewhere else has an effect here. We live in a global economy. We can't talk about wearing gym shoes that cost $250 without accessing information about Indonesia and the exportation of American manufacturing products and services to foreign lands where we rapaciously and viciously and venomously undermine, subvert, destroy, and eviscerate, just mess up altogether those local economies, and then we reap the benefits of them back home. We got to understand, nigger is a global phenomenon. And if you're a nigger wherever you are, this is why I use the term with promiscuity. I understand that as a nigger in America, there are niggers throughout the world. Can we connect through our core niggerdom to understand the vicious ways in which we have been subverted? And finally, as people of color, we cannot afford to
My ancestors woke me up this morning. They said, son, you do know what time it is, don't you? I said, what time is that? They said, it's war time, so welcome to the war front. Oh, glad to have you here, brothers and sisters, on this May 27th, 2013, year of the white race, trying to bring their rule on planet Earth to a close as soon as possible. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. We had a wonderful weekend. We had three wonderful weekends back to back. We had the Ashra Kwesi in town 2 weeks ago. Outstanding. 3 weeks ago, actually. Then 2 weeks, last weekend, the weekend before this one that just passed, we were up in Detroit by the request of Angela Freeman, author of 3 books, God's Gift, How to Be a Good Black Woman to a Strong Black Man, Conscious Book of ABCs, and Conscious Entertainment, The Return of the Black Domestic Goddess. So that was a wonderful time we had in the D. Got out safe and sound and changed some people around and shook some things up. Then this weekend in Philadelphia, we like to thank the Time for an Awakening and also Legacy of a Nation for bringing us up to Philadelphia. We're talking now in negotiations to see if we can start coming in on a regular basis to Philly. So we know we got a lot of Philly listeners because we know our listenership. In fact, that's our strongest area region is the Philadelphia metropolitan area. So that's our highest listenership. And so we know we got a lot of people tuning in. We want you to come out and enjoy it. We did Where's Your Black God this past weekend, and it was off the chain. Everybody loved it. We had a great turnout, great support. Just everything about it was right. And so we want to make sure that, you get an opportunity to enjoy these things, come out whenever we're in your town and support and be part of the vehicle that's going to change the condition of African people worldwide. We call that vehicle War on the Horizon. So we have fantastic lectures and performances that we've been having. And now, this weekend, this Saturday and Sunday, you're going to get a treat. We did the feminization of the black male in Detroit. And then when we got to Philly, we did Where's Your Black God? Well, guess what? We having a weekend, since we going to the Midwest now, we going down to Little Rock, Arkansas. Now you're going to get it all. Saturday, this coming Saturday, you can go to our waronthehorizon.com website, go to the events page, and you can see what we're going to be having. We're going to be having where it's going to be located. We're actually going to be having a 2-day event on Saturday. We're going to be doing the feminization of the black male. And on Sunday, we're going to be doing Where's Your Black God? And we're going to be in Little Rock, Arkansas. That's right, Little Rock, Arkansas. You didn't hear us wrong. We're going to be at the Utopia Restaurant and Lounge. Starts at 2 p.m. on June 1st, that's Saturday. And not only are you going to hear War on the Horizon lecture, Feminization of the Black Male on Saturday, but you're going to hear United Front live. You're going to hear Sister Queen Jasira live. And you're going to hear Brothers Keeper live in Arkansas. Then on that Sunday, you can come right back. Utopia Restaurant and Lounge on 521 Center Street, Little Rock, Arkansas, 72201. That's 72201. We're going to be doing Where's Your Black God? And again, we're going to have Brothers Keeper, United Front, Queen Jasira, and the Irritated Genie, War on the Horizon, Brother Body Shots, all in the house. So you're going to have lectures and a concert 2 days in a row in Little Rock, Arkansas. So we're about to make the block hot in Arkansas. So anybody that's anywhere in that region that's been wanting to hear us, been wanting to see us live, come out and see the power of War on the Horizon and what we're trying to produce, what we are producing, and the change that's hitting hard throughout the world right now. You come on out to Little Rock, Arkansas this Saturday so you can hear and experience what we're doing. So we just want to thank all the brothers and sisters that are supporting all the efforts that we're having, everyone who's coming out, everyone that's bringing us in. Things are looking very well. We want to thank everybody for going online and supporting people are buying products.
substantially, significantly, and if we continue to push this direction, y'all gonna get me off the plantation. And man, let me tell you, if you can get the Irritated Genie off the plantation, where I can dedicate 100%, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of my time to the black race, you're going to have something special when that happens. I promise you I'm going to give it everything I got. We can go ahead and deal with these devils the way we're supposed to, uplift our community, and build something, as our Baba Mwalimu Rudy says, that will last forever. I started the program with a clip by Michael Eric Dyson, this severe coon, this severe Negro, Tom, going around justifying through fancy words and fancy illogic the use of the N-word for our people, something that there's no question about the fact that we should not be using this term. This is how we shoot each other. This is how we kill each other. This is how black people are murdered. All of us, for the most part, most of us, have a firm foundational understanding of why this word doesn't work for us. Those that don't have that, all you got to do is look at the people who use that term and the circumstances under which you use them, even yourself, and consider, do you ever use that term when you love somebody and you care greatly about them and you want to help them? Or is that a term that we use for the destruction of our brothers and sisters' self-esteem and the character of our people? But at any rate, we're doing this program tonight. This is a little bit off the beaten path with this program. This is a program that we came up with because essentially brothers and sisters have been going around and coming up to us, asking us things for quite a long time. And I really was going to start the program with a clip of Bobby Hemmett. But because we just found out very, very recently, after we sent our emails out, that the brother had got a stroke recently, we don't want to be, unclassy with our criticism. So we're not going to lay deep into Bobby Hemmett tonight like we would have, with the brother being in the hospital with a stroke and things of that nature. That's not the time and appropriateness for us to do it. So I am going to play a clip line, but I didn't want to start the program that way. And I'm not going to really talk a lot about him personally tonight because the brother has had a stroke. And we definitely don't want to compound insult on top of injury. But we will just play a clip so people that can hear it and kind of hear some of the things that are going on. And honestly, just talking about how this program really came about. For years, I've had a frequent thing. And I didn't never take it very favorably because of my opinion of some of the things that are being said. But probably the single greatest comparison in terms of the number of times that people compare the work that I do as a speaker of the Irritated Genie and War on the Horizon, but particularly as a speaker, Irritated Genie. The person I'm compared to most often, sometimes I've heard some really great things that warm my heart, and I don't think I live up to, so I won't even say those names because I don't even know if I'm in that realm. But I tell you what, there's a name that keeps coming up and come up over and over and over again that has just really, 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 really just inflamed me because I like, not flames like these fags running around here because, some fags. I don't want to say, oh, the Irritated Genie said he's a fag. He said he went up in flames. No, that's not what I said. I'm just saying. I gotta make that clear. You gotta say no homo. The young people say no homo. I say no homo these days because nothing you can say almost today is heterosexual. But I can't tell you how many times I go somewhere. People are like, oh, brother, we love your message, man. Man, you breaking down it just like Bobby Hemmett, brother. And I'd be like, okay. And again, because the brother has had a stroke recently, I'm not going to beat up on the brother tonight like I would have done. So we're not going to do that. But I do want to play this clip just for the sake of people hearing, because a lot of our people have not ever heard Brother Bobby Hemmett. And I think this clip is not anything to demean him or anything. This is the standard kind of thing that he's teaching our folks. And I just want people to hear some of the things that people who are coming into their consciousness trying to figure out, what does it mean now that I understand that racism exists, that I'm black, and they took me from Africa, and that means something, and that there are things that are going on in this world. Now that they're coming into their consciousness, I want you to hear some of the things that they end up hearing, some of them as the first things that they hear, and this becomes what they believe to be quote-unquote conscious. And I apologize for playing the Michael Eric Dyson with the N-word stuff to start the program out, but I just wanted people to get the flavor of how ridiculous some of this foolishness that our people are being fed can be. And I want you to hear this clip because it'll speak for itself, just as we hear our brother Bobby Hemmett discussing things in a very standard way that he does. Now, excuse some of the language. There's a little bit of profanity. Didn't have a time to rework it and take the profanity out. But I just want you to get an idea of the flavor of what nationalism means to many of our brothers and sisters out here in the world.
So the reason why I'm who I am today, because my mama was a fucking genius. We would just go and ask her, hey mama, so-and-so, and she would tell us shit. And so there was a show came on in 1973 called UFO, a syndicated show. And she said, yeah, UFOs. And she took us out in the backyard and said, there go one right there. There go one right there. And so when I started talking about this stuff years later, and I was doing my lectures, and I came home, my mom like, shit, nigga, I'm the first one that showed you one of them. I said, oh, you're right. Some of beside the house, in the field beside the house. I'm like, oh, you're right. Okay, now, what had happened in about a couple of months after I started lecturing, this all the life would follow me all around. So I got to be used to this particular shift. Now, the mystery here is, now I'm going to get ready to break another mystery to you in a few minutes. And it took me up until January to finally figure this thing out, either the end of last year, but I'm going to break this to you. The mystery here is how I was able to produce the ship over the slave theater. Well, first of all, me and Clifton Brown had gone out to a sister named Shakura house that lived in Coney Island. And she was a psychic. So she was asking a question. So I told her, I was asking her a question. So I asked her, I said, can you tell the ship to show up tonight over the slave theater, yes or no? And they said, we'll be there. Now, I wasn't stupid. I wasn't going to go and say in the slave theater and chance the shit and eat you on show. She said, they said,
all right, brothers and sisters, I think that I wanted to play a little bit more of that clip. Let's see if when I bring it back up, if I can get right back to that point. Because I just wanted to, matter of fact, I'm going to fast forward. So I think most of the brothers and sisters in there heard what he was talking about, basically that a spaceship was following him. And now I'm going to go to the part where he's talking about Michael Jackson. I think this is the Michael Jackson part.
you see, this is freedom. This is freedom. You see what I'm saying? This is all an illusion. You emanate from someplace else. Y'all getting this? You see what I'm saying? So this is how, but this is why the government will tell you about the physical stuff, and you keep looking for physical ETs. That's to throw it off for you. You're the only alien that's coming. But you are a numerous emulation, but you are a projection of something that's not local, and you right up there in the sky. That's what they tell you, even in the Lion King. As above, so below, they say, but when your ancestors go, they become a star in the sky. Every man, every woman is a star. The solar sun. S-O-N-S-U-N, same thing. It's a luminous emulation, but it's this Sudarsha chakra. It's an emanation. I was coming back from Charlotte, and they had ice on the road. I did a lecture in February, and they had ice on the road, and the brother came down with a big-ass Lexus. And we drove from Charlotte to Atlanta, and it was ice, and we were going to get stuck in the ice. And I took that disc and beamed it on the damn road, and the road cleared up, and we drove 2 hours into Atlanta with completely dry road and snow on the Outer Banks. That's the kind of energy, but I realized, I just got me talking about this in Charlotte. You got 5 minutes, so we're going to do this, and then that's when you want to break. And I said, yeah. Okay, got 5 minutes. That's when you want to break the 5 minutes. That's why they had to come back. This stuff is in you.
Now, he goes on to talk about Michael Jackson being the archangel. And you heard in the beginning, he said his mother was the one who showed him his first spaceship outside in their backyard. And then he said those lights in the sky are not actually physical things, but that's us. We're that light looking down, beaming from the sky. And he goes on to tell us how one time it was snowing on the road, and he's riding down the street, and he tells the brother because there was so much snow on the road. That's all right, don't worry about it. And he becomes a light beaming down into the road and melted the snow so that they could have no snow as they rode down the road for 2 hours. And pretty much he goes on to talk about Michael Jackson being an archangel and how, let me just play this last part so I won't be making up, I don't want to put words in his mouth.
When Michael died, you see what I'm saying? You see, we're feeling pain when Michael died. You see, so he had to leave. So we just grasping the surface. Now, I want to get into one other thing before we go, and that is side of him. We're going to go back into this when we come. So Michael Jackson had to leave in order for Archangel Michael to return to this particular earth sphere to be encoded in your chakra system, which is your solar plane. This is interesting here because this is where a lot of people were feeling pain when Michael died. You see what I'm saying? You see, we're feeling pain when Michael died. You see, so he had to leave. So we just grasping the surface. Now, I want to get into one other thing.
So he tells us that Michael Jackson is an archangel. And so in order for the archangel Michael to come to earth, Michael Jackson had to die. Okay. All right. The name of this program is What the F Are You Talking About? And again, I'm not really going to do a lot with Bobby Hemmett per se because of his condition, but I did want to play the clip because I want people to hear. We're out here talking about the feminization of the black male. We're out here talking about predators in our midst, sexual abuse of African people around the world. We're talking about entertainment and how it's being used to transform the minds of our people to get us to do their bidding, to not be in control of our own minds, and how it destroys and undermines our communities. We got people going around justifying the N-word, talking about fancy planes and spaceships and stuff like that, and getting real deep. And I will admit, because I don't want to be critical without admitting it, I have been guilty at times of over-intellectualizing things, looking too deep into stuff when it's not there. And it's taken years for me to be able to determine what's relevant and what's not relevant, to be able to pull out and say, okay, no, this is something that really needs to be discussed, as opposed to this other thing that really doesn't need to be discussed. This is not something that we should be spending major time on. And that can take great time, but some of this stuff that we're talking about, some of the time and energy spent giving our people just kind of weird ideas and irrelevant ideas, it's kind of dangerous. And the reason it's dangerous is because you have people who are new. For a person like me listening to this kind of stuff, it's not going to take me off the path. If you've been in this for a while, if you have your feet under you and you're solid, you know who you are, you want to help your race, you want to help people, you realize racism and white supremacy exists, you realize there's more to what they tell us than what we see, then this stuff doesn't bother you. But we're losing thousands of people to individuals who go out here with fancy words and fancy ideas that at the end of the day, if you really, really are a person that has wisdom, you look at them and saying, what the are you talking about? Because if you add what they're talking about, add it all up and draw a line underneath it, at the end of the day, you realize that you and they don't have a clue what the hell they're talking about. I just got to be 100% honest. Some of this stuff is so far off. And what happens is people who are really trying to do legitimate things become, for some people who are new, particularly into this, you become trite. Because it's too simple. You know, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, make it simple, make it plain. He said, don't make it complex. It's already complex. The brilliance and the wisdom in actually helping black people change things is to take all the difficulty and of the world we live in under the system of racism and white supremacy, simplify it so that the average person can get a bite-sized portion of some understanding and information that can help them do better. Just that simple, not complex, not difficult, not hard to understand. The object is not to make things more difficult to understand. The object is to make things much, much, much less difficult to comprehend so that it's easy for people to know what they need to do to make a change. And what's happening, and I want people to call in because I know it's not just that. It's a lot of quacky, quirky, weirdo things that are going on out here that are posing as nationalism, that are not really nationalism, that are not really black nationalism or Pan-Africanism, but that take time, money, and energy away from people that are really doing the work and get our people more confused than they were when they're in the real world. And eventually, they end up going back to the real world because the real world is less weird and bizarre than the one that we live in now. So now I'm going to play another clip here. And again, these are not personal attacks on people, even though we do personal attacks. But this goes to another one of these situations. And this I'm going to play this one here by our brother Phil Valentine. And I'll play it for a reason. I'm playing it for a reason because I think it's relevant. And this is related to a discussion he had about Barack Obama being somehow related to Malcolm X.
You're supposed to have bombarded that hospital.
Bear with me 1 second.
You're supposed to have bombarded that hospital and grabbed that boy out of there, even from his mother, to save his life. I empathize to see. I feel that boy. I know what they did to him. They sabotaged him purposely because he was from the seed of Malcolm. And they know what that meant. He was royalty. But I want you to take a look, because this is no accident. There is something familiar about this brother. There is something too familiar about him. And I'm trying to say that I'm not just coming up with any kind of analysis. No, I'm trying to forensically show y'all love CSI. I see y'all watching it. Y'all hate the fact that I'm doing this to an icon. I don't love this brother any less. I'm trying to find out who this brother is that is trying to co-opt the throne in my mind, my higher ideals, to use them. Now we begin to start taking the forensics. Who he look more like? It don't make no sense to me how you're going to tell me that the brother who is the Luo, who grows to an average of 5'9", will suddenly come out with a 6'2.5" brother. Malcolm was 6'3". It would be logical that somebody of that size would essentially come from the loins of somebody that size. But if you look at the hairlines and you look at the chins, you would see that there is a distinction. Now you can see in the hairlines there and the chins, but you can see in the eye of the granddaddy.
So I'm just going to fast forward
to the mound of Venus at the top of the lip. Now you can get mad at me. Call me any name you want. I love my brother still. I don't care. But if he ain't told me who he is, I got to go dig it. It skipped a generation.
Now they're showing Obama's daughter.
Wait a minute now. Come on, people. Help me here. Help me a little bit.
All right. So basically, this is the lecture. And basically, the basic premise I can get from it is that because there is a similarity in the facial structure of Barack Obama and Malcolm X, Barack Obama is the illegitimate son of Malcolm X, who is being used against black people, or is not telling black people who he really is as the son of Malcolm X. And I'm assuming Malcolm X had sex with some white female and had this son. Here's the thing. It's back in 2009, 2008, 2009, when this is done right around election time, or right after he got in, or right before he got in, whatever the case may be. And if we look at Barack Hussein Obama now, I mean, the reality of it is he's an enemy to African people. I don't think I just don't know what the rationale is, or what the use of time for our people to be considering whether or not, and I don't know that there's anything to suggest that there's any relationship with Malcolm X whatsoever. But in the final analysis, he's been killing or promoting and supporting the murder of African people on the African continent. He's promoting the push of white sex homosexualization in the African world community, including America and abroad. He's fought against reparations for black people. He's done every measurable thinking thing that definitively is against the interests of African people. Malcolm X fought for black people. We know that some people believe he made a lot of mistakes, and he may have made some mistakes, but he was a racial freedom fighter at his best. Why would we spend any time speculating of a relationship between Malcolm X and Barack Hussein Obama when he is the straw man being used to destroy African people? It would seem as though the real way we would want to spend our time is talking about what the impact is going to be over the last 5 years of him being in office, and how terribly that's going to affect African people, and what we can do to try to counter it. This is honestly, and I'm not just picking on Brother Phil Valentine. I'm talking about, as a group of people, as a race of people, we really got to start getting to the point where we can decipher what's useful information, even as speakers and lecturers. Because I'll be honest, I've gotten up and did lectures before. The people said, "Why did you do that? That was completely unnecessary. Even if it was true, it helped nobody for nothing." And I've had to sit down and say, "Okay." So I'm not saying that every time you get up there it's going to be the best thing. But we do got to start getting out of the clouds. These crackers are killing black people. Police brutality is real. The feminization of the African male is real. Turning our sisters into lesbians and black widows. Joblessness is on the increase. They're real serious things. They're talking about trying to go and get our sister Asada Shakur. And ain't no spaceships or no fancy, I remember Minister Farrakhan talking about he saw a spaceship and he got zapped up on the spaceship and he saw a man, but he couldn't see the man flying the plane. And I'm like, I think this stuff is really beginning to get seriously unhealthy for our people, because we have real things on here on planet Earth to do to help our people. And talking about flying saucers and green monkeys and green spacemen and bright stars shining from skies and magical connections between stuff that we can never prove or disprove, it really doesn't have any benefit for us, but it does do some damage. Because you got a lot of brothers and sisters that you go out here and you're having a regular conversation. I swear to God, man, I've been talking to some brothers. I mean some brothers from the street. Hardcore dudes. Dudes has been shot and all this. Yo, Irritated Genie, man, let's talk. Yeah, we breaking it down. I said, yeah, man, but see, people don't know about them reptilians. I mean, what? Nah, dog, man, they see, brother, they're not deep enough for this reptilians. And I'd be like, nah, Joe, I'm not talking about reptilians, brother. And I'd be like, dang. And then everywhere I go to a different city. Oh, brother, brother, you deep like Bobby Hemmett. And I was like, nah, I'm not saying that Bobby Hemmett is not deep. I'm just saying I'm not deep like that. I'm a different person. And I'm like, what's happening to our people that spaceship talk is in the same vein as like real nationalistic, racial saving information? Dr. Jahi Issa, they're trying to take his children from him. They fired him from his college profession. He's a PhD. They're trying to, really, honestly, they're trying to kill him. They've tried to assault him a number of times. I was there at one time, so I know he's not making it up because I was physically there. In fact, I was the one that realized what was happening. He really is a problem because he's bringing exposure to the fact that they're lynching black people in Delaware. And he's doing his job. That's real. You don't have to do any speculation. We interviewed the brother. You can go online and see October 2012's War Room. Brother's getting lynched and murdered in Delaware. That ain't no spaceship lynching them. The brother who they tried to lynch and got away can tell you who did it and what they look like. So we talk about situations where this real stuff is going on for our people. And as opposed to our people galvanizing and getting this information, they come into this new information, but instead of being introduced to like tangible, solution-oriented information, a lot of time they get some bizarre, weirdo stuff that literally at some point takes a lot of our people out of it. If it's not that, they get introduced. Sisters come in. You got the brother with the kufi and the staff. Assalama Hotep, 2.5, my sister, my beautiful princess queen. Would you like to come back to the car with me? I want to talk to you about something. Oh, sister, well, I love this conversation. Would you follow me back to the crib with me? Oh, sister, you should spend the night because the stars and I'm reading your tarot card and the spiritual kundalini of the chakras is telling me. Wait a minute, I'm hearing voices. Wait a minute, could you lay right there, sister? And next thing you know, the sister, thinking, oh, well, these are some serious deep brothers. I'm gonna get deep. If she get deep, all right. And then the next brother will get deep with her. Next year, she say, wait a minute, these guys are just here manipulating me. And now she's no longer interested in nationalism. So she takes her energy, her new found interest, and her money, and her children, and everything else she has. And I ain't never going back in that direction. Or you got the sisters. And they come, oh, brother, have you rubbed your chakra? Huh? No. You need to align your chakras because, see, sit down, brother, go, There you go. You don't tell nobody you ever do this stuff. We do this stuff, then you realize you did some of this stuff, and then you don't never admit it to nobody that you was doing it, because then I started joning on making fun of it, and you be like, oh, I know Irritated Genie didn't say that. I did that before. But you don't tell nobody. And you be like, well, yes. Ooh, did that feel better, brother? You be like, damn, she fine. Yes, sis, it felt better. Oh, really, brother? Well, look, I got this $200 moon rock you can buy. But, yes, the moon rock. It'll align some more of your chakras. $200, kind of expensive. But brother, for you, $120 for the rock. For the moon rock. Yes, and with this rock, the spiritual energy from the deity Aset will go through your spirit and your kundalini, and your chakras will vibrate, and then that will lead to the resurrected of the African spirit. And maybe if you give me the full 200, we can have a resurrection. No, just the 200 is a little much, but and you got to figure out whether you want the resurrection or not. And then come on, brothers and sisters. And I was thinking about it before. I said, because a lot of people get on me all the time. The Moors, but I got to be honest, man. One thing I can say about the Moors, I don't agree with all of the stuff that they say. Everybody wasn't a Moor. There was Africans before the Moors and great civilizations long before the Moors. But I got to say, man, I watched the Moors in court. And I'm not telling anybody to follow that, because if you're not ready for it, I'm not saying it's your way. But it's the funniest thing in the world. They know the law so much better than these crackers. They be beating the hell out of these crackers in the courtroom. And some of them, if you get a chance, if you have time to do it, just to relax and have a good laugh, watch the Moors while they in court, while these crackers try to deal with them. Even Negroes in court and the judges. And, they be throwing them in so many loops in the courtroom. I think sometimes they just end the cases because they like, I can't deal with it. They know the law. They know the court cases, the quote. They be giving it to these devils in the courtroom. So I find it funny. So I say, I'm not going to make no criticism of the Moors. The only thing I will say, and this is not the Moors as an institution, but there are some of these Moors out there that be selling people these $2,000, $3,000 Moor cards, telling them that you're going to be able to use that as a passport. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. They're lying to you. I have seen, I've talked to people who have seen with their own two eyes, people who have trips out of the country. People paid their money to come on a trip. And then when it's time to pull their passport out, no, I got my Moor card. I'm sovereign. Are you sovereign? And they end up not only not getting on a plane, but then arguing because they won't let them on their plane with their sovereign Moor card, end up getting locked up. So not only do they got to pay to get out of jail, they lost all their money for their trip, but they really embarrassed because somebody lied to them. Now, I'm not making any judgment on sovereignty and Moorish science. You do what you want to if you believe in that and you go with it. We're not here to dispute what a person believes in and what they do that works for them. But don't get no daggone $2,000, $3,000 more card. I'm just telling you, don't get no more card thinking you could do nothing with that you could legally travel to another country. Because I'm going to tell you like this. Before you do that, I want you to find a person that can prove emphatically. I want you to go to the airport with them. And I say, okay, you're going to what country? All right, let me see your wallet. And I want them to show you they got a more card. They have nothing else, wallet. And I want you to watch them until they go through the process of going. I want you to walk to the gate with them and see if they will allow them to walk to the gate without a passport. And if you see somebody show a Moor card and says, I am sovereign, I'm a Moor, and they get on an international flight and go somewhere, you watch it and you see, don't let them get out your sight and say, yeah, no, I show them a Moor card. You got to watch them show somebody at TSA a Moor card and get on the plane. Then you can spend your money on a Moor card. But here's my problem with that. Even with that, brothers and sisters, here's the problem. A passport only costs a couple of $100. So even if your Moor card can get you out the country, why wouldn't you just get a passport? I'm sovereign, yeah, but you can save money though. Say just spend a couple of $100, get your passport. That's cheaper than paying for the $2,000 Moor card. Like, yeah, but I can use it as a driver's license too. Yeah, but a driver's license only costs $100, a couple $100. So if you add all the licenses that you want to get, even your weapons carrying permit, you add all the licenses you want up, they're not going to cost $200,000. They're not going to cost $2,000 or $3,000. Hence, there's no reason for you to have a sovereign Moor card. If you're sovereign, you don't need a card. You need a card when you're not sovereign because you have to prove who you are. If you're sovereign, you don't need the card because you're sovereign. You do what you want when you want to. And again, I'm not knocking Moorish Americans or nothing like that. I'm knocking those unscrupulous Moorish Americans that's telling people you can get out the country and travel around the world with a damn Moor card. Ain't no Moor card getting you no daggone where. Now, I'm not telling you the philosophy, but I'm talking about on an international flight, you ain't getting in. So please, brothers and sisters, and then there are people who really lose life savings. Our people don't have $2,000 or $3,000 to be thrown away. Give up all the money they can save up in the belief that they can escape racism and white supremacy with a Moor card, and you cannot. Again, I'm not making no knock against the Moors. In fact, if I ever got into a trial and they wouldn't give me no cracker attorney, I might even want one of these Moorish attorneys because they be it'd be so good the way they be dealing with these peckerwoods in the court of law. Even when they've done, I'd be like, what the are you talking about? But I will say this, it be working. You know, I don't know how well it works, but I tell you what, them crackers, everyone I watch, them crackers have a hard time dealing with Moors in the courtroom. So again, this program is not just about tearing people down and knocking them. We do want to say some of this stuff is ridiculous. Somebody telling you that you can get a card that costs $2,000, $3,000 to replace something that would only cost you about $500 if you did it otherwise, that just ain't good economic sense and it's unscrupulous. That is not the Moors as an institution. That is some unscrupulous Moors who lie to people and do that. And I want my brothers and sisters not to get caught up into that stuff. So we're going to open up our phone lines at the 8 o'clock hour. And the title of this program is What the F Are You... Oh, I didn't say F. What in the world... What the blank are you talking about? You put your own word in the middle. It's probably a four-letter word that we won't say here on One Horizon. But honestly, and this is how we're going to do it tonight. You call up and you tell me the thing that people do that drives you nuts. If it's people writing funny words and saying funny stuff when they saying stuff. I had one brother telling me, and I don't mind this one, but if he minds it, he can say it. He said, brother, it's not understanding, it's overstanding. And that bothers him. He don't like hearing people say that. I laugh when he said it. It don't bother me. But if that's something that bothers you, then you say what you got to say, and I'm going to say, what the are you talking about? So that's how we do it. Now, you say your thing, and then I'm going to ask you, what the are you talking about? And then we're just going to talk a little bit about, like, these crazy stuff that we hearing that's being said, is being fed to our people as if it's nationalism or if it's Pan-Africanism, when really, if you really sit down and listen to it, you really end up going, what the are you talking about? And again, I go back to Minister Farrakhan, not picking on Minister Farrakhan, I got to be real. When I used to love Minister Farrakhan, very loyal to Minister Farrakhan, you say anything about Minister Farrakhan, I got a problem. I'll never forget when I was up in Union Temple Baptist Church. He came in town. I was like, yeah, I got to hear, Minister Farrakhan say this. I want to hear this. So I went to hear Minister Farrakhan speak, and I was like, yeah, Farrakhan. We all hyped up in there. And I never get this, man. Then he started talking about some funny, how he's seen a spaceship. And you can believe me or not, and the spaceship came when I was in South America, I think he said, Cuba or South America, somewhere. And it came down, and the beam came out at the window. Brother was there with me. So that's right, I was there. And it beamed me up to the spaceship. And I saw a silhouette I saw one man, I don't know if he said he saw Elijah Muhammad, but he saw somebody on the ship. Then he said another man, he said, and I looked up and I couldn't see who it was, but he was driving the ship. And it was 4 foot by field by 4 foot by fields, and I'm trying to figure out how are you able to measure if it's 2 football fields or 4? I mean, how do you know it's 4 by 4 football fields? How do you know it wasn't like 3 football fields by 2 football fields? Or if it was circular, I mean, it's really not football field size. Wouldn't you give something more like a like a baseball stadium, the circle part of it or something or another? Because like football fields are rectangular, so they wouldn't be 4 by 4 because that would be square. So is this a square box ship? So this is a different ship than the ships we usually see. This is the square box ship. So Mr. Farrakhan's on the square box ship. And I ain't going to lie. I didn't say it then because I love Mr. Farrakhan. If somebody would say it to me, I said the same thing that he said. When it was over, he said, are y'all wondering what was on the ship and what that's about? That ain't none of y'all business. So I was sitting there, even then, as much as I loved the minister back then, I was saying, well, in my mind, I would never have said this out loud because I felt it would have been disrespectful. But I was like, why in the heck are you telling me about a super-sized, gigantic, jumbo-sized square ship? If you don't want me to ask you about it, you the one telling me. Don't tell me about it. That ship ain't got nothing to do with you. Well, if it ain't got nothing to do with me, why are you telling me about it? If they got a big square 4 by 4 football field ship, I'm assuming they got some technology to go along with it. Can't they come down here and help us fight some crackers? Like, if the big super spaceship can't help us fight crackers, and you get the ride on it, and you can't tell us what the ship is about and what they taught you, and they ain't give you nothing to help us with, like, I'm not saying you didn't get on the ship, but, like, I really don't need to know. I mean, what benefit is your spaceship going to do to me? Really what I'm saying is, what the F are you talking about? Not F. What the are you talking about? Because I'm trying to figure out how it is that as a race of people, we can let this stuff get by us and actually not start questioning leaders, or at least putting them, call them aside and say, look, kid, maybe we shouldn't talk about that no more. Because when I listened to Brother Marcus Garvey, he may have said a few things I didn't agree with, but that was because of the Christianity teacher. But that would be, what, 1 out of 99 things or 100 things that you don't agree with, and it wasn't that important because he was still fighting for African people. He never said something that was so bizarre and weird. And even when it was just something small. He was never telling us that no space monkeys was coming to save us, and no space monkey jumpsuits or nothing. Or no weird stuff. He wasn't talking about no shining lights and beams on the highway, melting snow. I mean, there was a time you couldn't get away with this weirdo stuff. When did this weirdo stuff come that you could just get up and say anything to our people and our people will accept that? And why do we accept it? And I want people's honest opinion. I really believe that it has a negative impact on the movement, particularly on new people, because they start believing this stuff, and it's only so long they can hold a trick. They get into the whole Kundalini and the chakras thing, which I find, I'm not saying everybody. There are people that really know healing, so I'm not disputing that. But a lot of it's some freaky deaky. I'm just keeping it real. What I've seen mostly is the freaky deaky. The Kundalini and the priestesses and all that, yeah, if you a brother and you single and you out of your African mind and you just want to go around and have some fun, you can have a lot of fun with the Kundalini and the spirit worshipers and all that stuff, because they it seemed like a big freak fest to me. Again, it's not 100%. I'm not saying all of it, but after you start talking about the spiritual this, the spiritual that, I'd be like, does any of this spirituality kill crackers? I'm just saying, like, a police officer that is really not really doing his job, but he wants to just go murder black people. Or better yet, not a police officer, some small hat named Zimmerman is going to kill our young brother. If I had the spiritual Kundalini chakra knowledge, feeling stuff, would that kill that cracker before he kills my young son? Or can I use the chakra to shock the cracker and electrocute him after he kills my son, since he killed my son and I wasn't there beforehand? Or like, how does this thing help to kill crackers? Okay, let's say it don't kill crackers. Okay, so I'm asking for too much. Can I buy a house with it? Can I put down a down payment on a home? Can I educate my family with it? Yes, you can educate your family to the chakras. Okay, what's going to help me do? Help you be at peace with yourself. I'm actually at peace with myself. It's these crackers that are the problem. Do you have some science that spiritually help me deal with these crackers? Now, some people say meditation helps you go on a job and not freak out on those crackers. I can buy that because sometimes, even myself, I say, man, I need a way to go cool off because I'm about to flip. Or even these shines. It's not just the crackers. These shines on the job will get you to the point where you're ready to blow your lid. So, these are the kind of questions we asking tonight. I want you to tell your favorite, what the are you talking about story? Something that happens on a regular basis, some weirdo phenomenon stuff, some creepazoid stuff, or just some stuff you just don't know what the heck somebody's talking about. I'm going to play this last clip by Mr. Farrakhan. Many of you have already heard it, but I'm going to play it again anyway, just a little piece of it, because this is what we talking about. And again, I'm not picking on Mr. Farrakhan. It's just he's been doing a lot of these recently, so he has some of these statements.
You see the brilliance of T.D. Jakes, a spiritual giant. You see the majesty of human problems acted out. So you could sit in the theater and see yourself in your madness, in your gladness, in your goodness, in your evil, and then come out of that experience for a $15 ticket and some popcorn and say, wow, I feel better. So this New Year's a shout out to the giant called Tyler Perry, a spiritual giant, a magnificent human being.
Now, I stop it there because if you can see it online, it's really disturbing. There's a picture of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad in the background. A spiritual giant. A man who, really, let's just be honest, all I got to do is say these names and it speaks for itself. Malcolm X. So many supreme captains we can't even name. The early 1988 Minister Farrakhan, or 85 Farrakhan, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. These are the names who grew out of the Elijah Muhammad movement and institution. He's got this spiritual giant behind him, now classifying a cross-dressing transvestite gump, a freaky-deaky white sex offender. I mean, a straight-up white sex offender, brothers and sisters. I know we use slang sometimes, but I figure let's never get to the point where homosexual white sex misbehavior is so respectable in our minds that we won't degrade it by using terminology that's beneath the level of what we would classify any African type of behavior as. So we say fags, these pork boys, the monkey boys, whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to call it to demean it and demean the vileness of the misbehavior, do it. He called a transy freaky deaky, a spiritual giant with a picture of Elijah Muhammad in the background. That is so disturbing to me. Because I'm looking at it and it haunts my soul because I'm going, if Elijah Muhammad was here and he came to me and said, son, I see the work you're doing, but I have a question for you. Why would you let this man speak negatively about me like this? Or misrepresent what I believe like this? Why would you let him say these words and get away with it? I would really feel terrible because of how much the messenger's teachings have done for me. So I say, you know what? Not that I ever want to. I don't really like the conflict stuff. People don't believe that because we do it so much. But really, I don't prefer it. I'd rather just us do our own thing. But I'm like, yo, man, I'm not going to let Minister Farrakhan get away with spitting on the legacy of Elijah Muhammad, trying to destroy the legacy of the good, strong brother Malcolm. And most specifically, I definitely am not going to let him try to destroy the legacy of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. you know, our sense of what a savior is supposed to look like and act like and be like. And I'm not gonna descend to the afterlife and be denied because I let those brothers who will be there fighting for our people in the spiritual realm look at me and say you should have done more. If they say I should have done more, I'll accept that, but they won't say that I was quiet and I turned my back. And they also won't say you heard them, you knew you didn't know what they was talking about and you ain't say nothing. So with that, brothers and sisters, I'm going to go to the phone lines. And I want you to come in here because it may not be the spaceships that's driving you nuts. It may be some other quacky stuff that people are doing. It may not be the Kundalini bell-beating water sprinkling that's getting you. I don't know what it'll be. It may not be that you a spaceship and that they're intergalactic reptilians, that whites turn themselves into reptilians, and it's not really the cracker, but it's the evil reptiles, and some of the blacks are reptiles, and some of this creepy, deepy, weirdo stuff. You know, I don't know what it is that's moving you, brothers and sisters, but I know for me, this creepazoid stuff is getting way too out there, and my basic question is, what the are they talking about? So we're going to go to our phone lines now, 760-569-7676. Again, that's 760-569-7676. Participation code 948-656-pound. That's 948-656-pound. And the question of the night is, what the are they talking about? What the are you talking about? 4938. Come on in here, talk to us tonight. 4938. 4938. Going once, going twice. All right, they just listening. They don't know what they talking about. Detroit.
Peace, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. How you doing?
Good, I'm good. Before I get into my story, I'm going to add a little bit to yours.
Okay.
Because he may not have said all this to you, but he's told that story several times, and usually when he says it, he describes being subjected to anal probes, which makes the story even crazier. He was on a spaceship, and they...
Wait a minute. Stop. I heard somebody say that before, but I thought they was being funny.
No.
Are you telling the honest to God truth? You've heard him say he's been subjected to anal probes.
Yeah, they did different medical testing, and one of them was an anal probe. So I don't know what that fascination is about.
Wait a minute. You saying Minister Farrakhan said that when he was on the spaceship, they anally probed him?
Yep.
No wonder he like Tyler Perry. No, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm leaving that alone. But I don't know what my favorite one is. I'd say my most recent one, when I was handing out flyers when you guys were coming to Detroit, there's actually one place that I did not go because I met this brother, and he was like, yeah, you should come on out, check us out, and he handed me this piece of paper, and, you know, I could tell already he was talking crazy. But I look at this piece of paper, this flyer he gives me when I walk away, and it's like has all these solutions that they can give you. And one of them was how to purify the white woman. Guess how they're going to do that?
How to purify the white female.
Exactly.
Oh, God. It's a freak. I know it's some freaky deaky in it because it's got to be freaky deaky because everything is freaky deaky.
Well, yeah, supposedly by black men sleeping with the white woman and injecting his seed into the white woman, that will purify her, and then she'll be all right. And I'm like, do you know who you just handed this flyer to? Do you know who you're talking to? You must not know who you're talking to. Why the hell would you give me this paper? It was crazy.
Wait. What the are you talking about? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What the are you telling me? Not are you being funny or are you serious?
No, I'm serious. I was handing out flyers, and this person just happened to be somewhere that I was handing out flyers, and he said,
"Are this person a part of a particular group?"
I don't know what to call them. I guess they have their own group, but it's not. I don't think it's national. It's just some local weirdos. Because they had their own place, and at first I was going to go there and drop some flyers off, and I read that, and I was like, oh, no, we don't need none of y'all at this event.
Now, so you messed up. Now, you know we got 10 brothers that just dropped the line. Because now they going out there, because now they figured out how to help the race. They going out there to purify some white females. You should not have brought that up, sister.
Well, I mean, but according to these brothers, there's truth in it. The melanin from the black man's seed can purify the white woman. And then everything will be all right.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I think they gave me 2 copies of the paper. I'm going to see if I still have one laying around the house somewhere. I'm going to fax it to you. It's crazy.
Only thing I can say to you is, what are they talking about?
Purification.
Wait a minute. So first, hold on. And I need somebody to... okay, it's not that I don't trust you. I do trust you. But you're not the most positive pro-Minister Farrakhan person. And I have heard people say this, but I got to ask, if anybody knows and has heard it, is it really true that Minister Farrakhan said that these intergalactic aliens anal probed them? Because that's kind of weird. I knew that they had took them up on a spaceship, but I didn't think that they tested them or nothing. I thought they just, like, took them around and was like, hey, look, you're on a spaceship.
It's on video. Somebody has it somewhere. I used to have like $500 worth of videos, but I gave them all away when I left. So it's out there. It's on videotape. It's recorded.
Wow. But so in other words, the white female is impure. But if you get some of that good melanin seed and you chakra her just right, then you can transform her from a white devil whore to a white goddess.
Yes, if you just inject that into the root chakra and do some chanting and maybe even some speaking in tongues, and then all the evil will just pop out of her and you'll be good.
It'll just ooze right out the white female. Now, could you help me with the chants? You have any idea how the chants go?
You know what? No, but because I don't speak in tongues, but it should just happen. Like at the moment of that it touches the root chakra, it should just come natural. Whatever comes out of your mouth, that's what happens. That's what will purify her.
Brothers and sisters, you got to say, shalagoom, shaka, shaka.
Boom, shaka, laka, laka.
Shalagoom, shaka, laka. Yes, absolutely. What are they talking about? How can black people actually, first of all, you would have to want to purify the white female in order to do that. Let's say it was true. Why do you want to purify her?
Exactly. And how are black women up in this organization? That's what I don't get. Like the black men, that's whatever. Black men have been disappointing us for quite a while as far as just intellectual foolishness. But a black woman, how are you up in there with a bunch of people trying to purify some white women? I don't get that.
Well, that black women these days, they might want to do a little purification themselves. Because that little freaky diggy, liggy liggy, little twitchy kind of freaky diggy now.
I hope not. I hope it's not that bad, but I'm sure it probably is.
Yeah, the sister's like, hey, look, we want to get some of that white female stuff too.
Oh.
Hey, you brought it up. I'm just a bearer of bad news.
I didn't have to think about it when it was from the male perspective, but you're talking about the female perspective now. Yeah, but we need to shut this down. It's horrible. It's horrible.
All right, you got any more? Are you talking about for us tonight?
No, I don't think you really be feeling me anyway, because rumor has it that you're reptilian, so...
Sister Nefertari, they found out about us. We're reptilian. Let's go back to the water. We on our way to the moat.
Yeah, I heard you came from a planet Risk or something like that.
Look, if I was a reptilian, why would I stay my black behind on Earth with these crazy crackers? I mean, wouldn't I go back to Reptilian? What's the planet reptiles are from? Reptilian Nation?
I heard it was a planet called Risk. RISQ, I believe, is where you come from. Risk? And I don't know why you haven't gone back. If I was you, I'd go back. I wouldn't hang around here. But that's what Risk do.
Well, if I'm from Risk, David from Risk too. How about that? Huh?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, Brother David, you need to go back to Risk because you got all these crazy crackers to deal with, and you got this Lady Shabazz. So you got your hands full, bro.
That's right.
Oh, Lord. All right. So you on next week, right?
Yes, we are going to be on next week. We're going to start a series on the book God's Gift because women have said that they want to hear us talk more about it, that the book itself was good, but they were left wanting more. So we're going to do a series on that. So we're going to start next week with chapters 1 and 2, and Irritated Genie will be my special guest.
The special guest.
Yes, the guest of honor.
Well, look, you know you're taking a risk having me on there.
I don't know. I just hope you don't start spewing your reptilian stuff. That would be not like the wrong time, wrong place. Not a good time. So
I don't like that.
Let's try to keep it on topic.
Just my reptile sound. And what the hell are you talking about? Get on out of here, sis. I'll see you next week.
All right, peace.
All right, peace. What the is Lady Shabazz talking about? Purifying a white devil female. 1884. Come on in here. Tell me, what the are they talking about? 1884?
Just listening.
All right, yes, sir, brother. Okay. Appreciate you for listening. 6714. Live.
Just listening.
All right, just listening. Fantastic. All right, 7730. Live on All right. All right. 8769. You live on One Horizon.
Peace, Brother Genie.
Peace, my brother.
All right, this brother Tad from New York. You know, up here we got all kinds of schools of thoughts up here, man. I think everybody done lost their mind. You know, last week was Malcolm's birthday, so you know we were listening to the bullet or the ballot. And one thing he said that was so poignant: whatever your religious belief is, leave that between you and your God. When it comes down to this black nationalism, all that philosophical stuff got to get checked at the door. I can't even tell you which ones piss me off. I don't know if it's the dudes who co-sign the homosexuality. I don't know if it's the dudes talking about spaceships and dudes from different planets, the reptilians, all that crazy stuff, you know. I think right now only thing we should be focusing on is nation building. All that other ideological stuff they could check to the side, because these people that they follow, you know, they haven't been on the world stage like the Honorable Marcus Garvey, like the Honorable Dr. Khalid Muhammad, or the Honorable Malcolm X. Their spiritual leaders wasn't even allowed backstage, let alone get on a world stage. So I think a lot of them got to check that to the door, but it does piss me off sometimes because, like you say, you know, try to educate people on some real actual facts, actual studies on what actual people did, not philosophies, not philosophical jargon, but actual acts, you know, getting in the streets, doing the work. People would be like, well, my man told me that all we got to do is this. If we elevate to the ninth sphere of the 11th stage, we could just make all this go away. I'm like, so yeah, it does piss me off. You know, even sometimes, you know, I try not to let my spiritual beliefs, you know, take over positions when I'm trying to discuss nation building with people. But me, I'm not a Christian, right? So from my studies and my understanding that Christianity is plagiarism of the Metanetta. So we understand that our story was allegorical and Kemet. But brothers really run around holding the Bible, and I'm not saying all black Israelites, but a majority of the black Israelites have told me that we in this condition now because we disobeyed God. That's why white folks put us in chains. That's why they stole from us, because we was out of step with God. Now, that pissed me off. That pissed me off. And then they told me, don't say that I'm African because I'm actually an Israelite. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, nah, black people are really from Israel. We the real Israelites. I said, so answer this. Where's the Israel of the Bible? He said, it's where it's at now. I'm like, nah, brother. I said, that became Israel in 1942 when they moved the Jews out of Germany and tried to take over Palestine. So, again, prior to 1900, where's the Israel of the Bible? And you know what they tell me? I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant because I got facts. I'm ignorant. That's when I'm like, what the blank are you talking about? Because they can't go no further than the Bible. And I'm like, the Bible is not even real. It's a book of tales. It's a book of fables. Nothing in there is concrete. It's like Aesop's fables. You read the story, you take the lesson, and you move on. But some brothers just got it twisted and hold that book as their world history almanac. And that drives me crazy right there.
And you know, man, I'll be 100% honest. Let me say this positive first. The two good things that I've seen about the Hebrew Israelites: one, they very masculine type dudes. They're not like faggoty type dudes. And two, they go real hard on the crackers and fags. But
definitely.
But the theology they be talking about always leaves me going, what the are you talking about? I remember going down D.C., and they do it on every Friday. They got this big billboard that has black people in Africa, and they're calling them, these are Africans, these are not your brothers, these are like something else. And they look just like some of the brothers there, except they might get like an African tribe that has the plate in their lip or something like that, not knowing why that occurred. They have no historical perspective of it. But they look just like one of them brothers, just look like a regular brother, or brothers with the earrings or stuff like that, not understanding the culture of it at that time. And they be saying the most horrific, horrendous things about Africa. But then be talking about how they don't like crackers and how whites mistreat us. And I be like, and then they be talking about we're not black. Like you said, I be like, what the are you talking about? Help me out, brother. Because I see it's bad down here with that, but in terms of the worst place I've been with a bunch of quacks and weirdos, New York appears to have the most ridiculously retarded space-age dudes I've ever heard. What's going on, bro?
I don't know. They're losing me. Man, I study the lessons of the greats, man. I study Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben. You know, I definitely love the work that you're doing. You know, Baba Ashra Kwesi. You know, the people who ain't driving me crazy and losing me, people who come with concrete evidence and like, nah, you got to close your eyes and dig in your mind, brother. You're missing the point. Like, nah, I know what the point is. We at war. I don't need to think of my strategy in the middle of the fight. I need to go into the fight with a strategy. So, you know, all that just stop and meditate in the middle of a fight ain't going to cut it. So, you know, but it's so many brothers up here, you don't know who to talk to no more. Because a brother, like you said, you know, you got some Israelites that'll go hard on the crackers. You know, the brothers are masculine and macho. They be downtown Brooklyn on Fulton Street just yelling at everybody going past, though. And I'm like, yo, you're not going to get the people talking to them like that. You got to bring it down a few notches, get people attention. You got to talk to them smooth. But they just yell at people, and I'm like, sometimes they say things that are true. But for the most part, the approach is crazy. And then the ideology is crazy because, they, like you said, they're telling other people we're not black. And the crackers go upside our head for no other reason than being black. They don't bust you upside their head because you're Caribbean. They don't bust you upside your head because you're Muslim, you're Hebrew Israelite, you're Christian. Khalid Muhammad said we need to die a tribe and be born a nation. But a lot of brothers don't even want to do no nation building. They see the red, black, and green flag, and they be like, oh, you one of them black power dudes. And I'm like, all right, yeah, and you should want some black power too. Black power is black economics, black independence, black sovereignty. I was laughing when you was talking about the Moors too, because yeah, I'm not even gonna go in about the Moors because I done met a couple of them brothers who tried to recruit me, and I'm not gonna be able to do that one, you know.
So
I can't, you know, because I was watching a video of the brother Sarah Asun Seti debating Moor. And Seti was coming with facts, and dude was coming with some ideological stuff. And I'm like, yo, philosophy will never trump facts. But that's what dudes hold on to because you can make your belief as strong as you want it to believe. That's the same thing the white man did with Christianity. Went upside our head with that Bible, and now we don't care about nothing but Christians. If we see a brother getting hurt, if he ain't Christian, we don't want nothing to do with it. We see a white man getting hurt, if he a Christian man, oh, that's my brother, let me help him. I mean, these ideas and these philosophies really got our head twisted. If your philosophy is intangible and you can't bring it to fruition and bring real results, you need to leave that at the door. See, Elijah Muhammad's philosophy, it worked. He brought a lot of brothers up. Even though I don't agree with a lot of stuff, it worked for him. It worked. It helped bring us Malcolm. It helped bring us Khalid. It worked. Marcus Garvey philosophy, it worked. You know what I mean? A lot of these dudes just got philosophies that just sound like, man, it's driving me crazy thinking about the stupidity.
So what is it about New York that makes dudes so crazy, though, with this stuff? Because it's bad all around the country, but, man, New York is like a hodgepodge
Yes, we are. You know what it is? Because our people are so lost that they looking for anything to grab onto. So this is almost like America's melting pot because we got the Koreans, Chinese, Japanese. We got brothers from Senegal, Nigeria. We got Muslims. We got such a big, different denomination of people that's coming with their own philosophy and culture that the brothers are just grabbing onto whatever is anti-white. And some of it is subconsciously pro-white, but they just don't get it.
Well, let me ask you.
And that's what I see.
Okay, so they're doing it because I've been to New York once. I've been there a couple times. I've been there a lot. Matter of fact, it's so bad in New York, I'm being 100% honest. I told people, unless it's Brooklyn, and unless Brother Mac is involved in it, I told my folks keep saying, because we get some calls from New York sometimes, people trying to think if they want us to come up. And I'm not going to lie, man, I'm so turned off, I don't even want to go to New York because it's so bad. I mean, it's not just basic. It's so bad. When I went there one time, I was at a Humane bookstore. We were doing a lecture on entertainment.
Right, Harlem, right?
Yeah, Harlem, a Humane bookstore in Harlem. That's why I don't even want to go back to Harlem. I'm like, I like it in Brooklyn. There's a certain hardness and cleanness in Brooklyn that I can at least work with, even though some weirdos there too. But in Harlem, man, this dude walked in, and I haven't even started the lecture hardly. Just getting in and telling stuff. Yeah, brother, but do you know about the reptilian side of the immaculate in conception? And I'm like, I have a real bad temper. So what I do, I always try to be statesman-like because, you know, it's not help. First of all, you're in somebody else's backyard. You don't show no temper because that's not intelligent. But secondly, sometimes I can not appear to be the irritated genie. Just some dude from the street when my temper goes. So I try to ignore it. But it's something about these arrogant idiots. Like, it's one thing if you don't know nothing, and we talking going back and forth, but it's an arrogance and the stupidity of the people, and not all my brothers, not like a brother like you that come in here strong, but you know what I'm saying.
Right, definitely.
Ridiculous, but they arrogant with their stupidity. What the heck is going on? Is it something about New York?
It's something about Harlem, because I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
I'm from Brooklyn. I live on Staten Island right now, but you know my group. I work in Brooklyn. You know, I teach the children in Brooklyn. You know, Brooklyn is my home, and Brooklyn has always been like, out of the five bro, Brooklyn's always been the realest. Whether they want to get into some street stuff, whether, you know, you're talking about the greatest rappers, even if you're talking about the scholars, because God bless Sonny Abuba Carson is from Brooklyn. You know, X-Clan hails out of Brooklyn, Most Def. You know, so we got a different vibe to us. Them Harlem dudes are really, that's where the hustlers and the swindlers are from. So it goes like to what you were saying earlier, you know, brothers will kick it to a sister, try to get her back to the lab. You know, just about as false as the preachers, let's go to the house and pray. You know what I'm saying? It's something about them Harlem dudes that I don't know. And, you know, and I got family in Harlem. I don't rock with them too tough. But I get what you're saying because, first of all, even with you doing the lecture, he's supposed to walk through the door with that humble respect, knowing that this is your show. You know what I mean? You could have just put your security on them, put them in a yoke, throw them out, and that would have been that. Because a lot of them dudes are not built as tough as they act. Because of the first sign of aggression, they fold like a wallet. You know, so I don't know what it is with Harlem. I don't go to Harlem too much, you know. Unless people in Brooklyn are doing something in Harlem at the Harriet Tubman School or something, I stay out of Harlem. So
let me ask you this. Is it really are you talking about is mostly in Harlem, or is it a whole New York thing? Because I don't know New York well enough to know, but I feel like it's New York. But I know I don't even go to Harlem.
Nah, it's New York. It's New York, but you got it right with Brooklyn. You got some good people in Brooklyn, some good people in Queens. Okay. You know what I mean? Brooklyn and Queens, you got some official thoroughbreds, you know, who understand that it's about nation building and nothing else. You know, a lot of other dudes got their personal agenda going on, and it's a lot about egos. You know, because I'm not even with the whole debate scene. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be amongst the conscious community. Every time they get two brothers that's trying to share information with the people, them in Harlem, they want to get them together and debate. I'm like, they're about as bad as these street rappers, always trying to have beef with one another. We supposed to be building each other up, not trying to tear each other down. You know, and all that I'm not with. We supposed to be practicing unity, man. These dudes is practicing division, but they want to blame the white man, but they doing the same thing as the white man doing. You know, but Harlem is heavy up there. It's heavy up there. You know, you know, Genie, you know they got the loonies up there. I stay away from that. I stay in Brooklyn, do what I do in Brooklyn, rock with my people in Queens on the same mission, and that's it.
Well, brother, I appreciate the call, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's dangerous because it pulls people away from nation building and gets them on it gets them on, I don't know, but it gets them on something other than nation, and then a lot of times we don't be able to get those people back.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you, brother. I'm going to let you get to the rest of your calls.
Yeah, real quick question. I know the family wants to know, how did it work out with your daughter, brother?
Oh, well, we still going through that. They didn't give that to her. They didn't give that to her. They in the talks, they don't know how far it's going to go. But that's supposed to, yeah, you know, because I definitely expressed my disdain. They said they're not doing that. They're looking to do that next year. So I'm considering pulling her out of a school. I'm looking to put her in an independent school, you know, but I just have to crunch the numbers on that.
Gotcha.
You know, how much that'll cost. Actually, I'm working with a sister out of Queens, you know, who's a retired teacher who really understands it. It's about nation building. Okay. So, you know, me and her are going to talk more in terms of educating a few children. And what can we do for that? You know what I'm saying? Because push come to shove, she could always use my house, you know. I got a nice little basement she could use. Fits a nice little amount of kids down there, if need be.
All right, well, brother, we appreciate you being a stand-up brother, going there, marching down there, and not letting them take your daughter off into some fag land. And we hope you inspire other brothers and sisters to stand up when that stuff hits their city as well.
All right, thank you, brother. I appreciate you too, though, definitely.
Yes, sir.
All right?
All right.
Peace.
See you on the battlefield. What that brother talking about? That brother said they had his daughter at the school, daughter 5 years old. They trying to teach his daughter about some gay, fag, AIDS stuff and teach him gay homosexuality, whatever. He went there and said, I'm not having it. And we talked on the phone. He let us know what they was doing up there in Brooklyn, and we said, okay, look, man, just don't get locked up, man. Don't go down there. He said, I got it. I'm gonna be cool, but I'm not gonna tolerate it. And so he won that battle. He stopped it for this year. They're gonna do it next year. So what we have is some brothers out here that are making change and difference. Because if nobody says nothing, then they would have went right ahead and did it. But because that black man stood up and said something, now it's a group of black children who are not going to be learning how to be gumps at 5 years old and be freaky diggies. What the is going on out here? 2569, you live on Warner Horizon.
Abibi Fahodier, brother.
Abibi Fahodier, how you doing, my brother?
All right. This all you out of Tampa.
Yes, sir.
Man, that thing that really get on my nerves and make me want to just, for a moment, participate in that black-on-black crime is when those folks try to, say that our oppression is has been prophesized by our ancestors. It's written in the Medu Neter. You know, those people that kind of follow that, I don't know if you ever heard of that guy, Raoul Nefer. You know, he wrote the books Medu Neter, and he has like Haru, the Resurrection. And, they almost try to make, our oppression, spiritual. And, it makes me mad to no end because at the end of the day, what they're doing is they're afraid to look, our enemy in the eye. They're afraid to, identify our enemy as a European, and he does use his system, but the system is designed by him, for his benefit. And that just makes me mad, upset to no end, man. You have those people, they'll sit back and it's just like, they'll say stupid stuff like, well, this is prophesied and we must go do this, brother. And you got to understand, and you say stuff, well, if we just allow this to happen, then you and I, will be 1,000 years from now, still going through the same thing, waiting on this prophecy, to come to, fruition. And it's silly. It's madness. When we sit back and we just, we say silly things like that, it was written in the ancestors. It was, it was passed down in the scrolls and all this kind of stuff.
We are our own worst enemy. You talking about we are our own worst enemy, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, that's part of it, but more so it's just, they try to put on our ancestors. They'll say stuff like, our ancestors, they wrote it in the Medu Neter, or they wrote it in the scrolls. And, people like the Round Lepers and all those people and the Phil Valentines, they went and they were able to decipher the scrolls, and now, they'll teach their little cliques of people that, our oppression, and by the hands of the European is somehow divine. It was inspired by the gods. And, it doesn't make sense for us to take up arms and try to combat as best we can, against this beast. It's best for us to just go through it and just, let it be what it is. and then, when everything is supposed to happen, and when we come into the sign of Aquarius, everything will change for the betterment of us, but we haven't put, rubber to the road at no point, to change our situation. And I think a lot of times.
And let me jump in here because you said something that's real important, and I feel qualified to at least say something on this because I've been to chemist 6 times. I can say for a fact that it makes no sense for somebody to say that our ancestors, that God punished us to put us in this, and that our ancestors wanted this or desired or it was prophesied, because when you look at the temple walls have pictures. Can't nobody fake those pictures and say what they mean because they pictured. That's why our ancestors made pictures. What the pictures have is the black god Amen going up to the king or the sultan, the king, and the king has a smite smashing the heads of the white Asiatic enemies who came in and invaded Kemet. Basically, the sign was you are not spiritual, and God will not receive you unless you destroy the enemies and protect the kingdom.
Yes, sir.
So if our ancestors thought we was supposed to be spiritually destined to be enslaved, why then would they have stories that if you look at them now telling you that God wants you to destroy your enemies? That don't make no sense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But, I mean, you know what, too? It's partially our fault as well. Because all you have to do is seek, search, and then research. Find these people out. A lot of times, most times, people who are out here doing good work, you can line up. You can find different, like, for instance, you can go on Warner Rising. We can hear you speak over and over again. We can purchase your book. We can see the work that you're doing in the community. We can see the work of Dr. Dan. We can see Dr. Clark's book. We can see Baba Olima's work. And the rhetoric doesn't change. It doesn't deviate. It's not all over the place. People like, the Bobby Hemmings, because I bought tons of his DVDs at one time, and, Phil Valentine stayed right down the street from us. And when we tried to bring him in one time to speak, he told us that we didn't have the money to afford him. We was like, okay, cool, stay where you at. And, it's one of those things where, when their rhetoric is all over the place, no matter how articulate, no matter how eloquent they may speak, that their rhetoric is all over the place, and that tells you they're nothing but charlatans. They're not interested.
Question. I want to ask you, I'm going to tease you a little bit here. Now, keep it real for me. When you was going through that Bobby Hemmings stuff, you was feeling that was deep, wasn't it? Tell me, you was like, man, this dude deep. Come on now, tell me.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I my brother who who I do a lot of, we bring a lot of the scholars in. He was into him, and I was always kind of like, well, dude, why he got to drink the cognac? Because I think we was trying to get to the one when he was drinking the cognac, and he was talking about the Hermetic text and all this kind of stuff. And then there was this other one. So it was one of those things where I was always one of the ones like, I don't see the significance of it, And again, he was always talking about very strange stuff. Now, he did do this one video. He did this one video when he basically called out everybody that was dealing with the white folks and was saying it was an inferiority complex. And it was he enlightened me some things I didn't know at the time. I didn't know that Sheikh Anta Diop, had a white wife. I didn't know that Angela Davis had married the leader of the Communist Party at the time. So, I think that one, he does have good information, but I mean, it's mixed in with so much mumbo jumbo that it's like 95% of the stuff is mumbo jumbo, and that 5% is good. So, I can't deny to say, I haven't picked up some good things, but it was so few and far in between.
But
that, he wasn't somebody.
I ain't talking about in your right African mind now. Come on, now you give me a nice smooth ass, and I know it's the truth, but come on, you give me see, brother, see, so much. I ain't asking you. I'm keeping it real. Look, you was one of them brothers going around, man. You got to check out this Bobby Hemmings, dog. Look. He talked about this.
I never said that. I never said that. There was some things that I think, he was like, yeah, that's on point. But I never was one of those people that was champion, brother.
Wait a minute. You wasn't like, man, when you heard the Irritated Genie, you like, man, this dude almost on Bobby Hemmings level. Come on now, bro.
No, you know what? Well, soon as it's funny, man. When I first heard about you, I went to Baba Kwesi. When we brought him in, and I was like, Baba Kwesi, who is this young guy? He's younger, because we're close in age. And and he kept saying Irritated Genie. I'm like, Irritated Genie? That's James Carruthers' book. And you know how Baba Kwesi is. Baba Kwesi, he make it plain. Didn't I tell you what his name was? I was like, yes, sir. And so it was one of those things where we knew there was a distinct difference. And again, we asked Baba Kwesi about Bobby Hemmings. We asked him, and I don't want to start anything, but one of the people that we always ask him about is Renoka Rashidi, and I'm gonna leave it there. But and he tells us certain things about, Roanoke Rashid. He's just like, okay, that makes sense, according with his personality. So, I think that, we've always had the opportunity to kind of, defer to somebody that's been on the front lines for, almost 35, 40 years. So we've been safeguarded, a little bit.
Okay, so you never got off the deep end on that Hamidite. You're not a Hamidite. You never became a total Hamite.
Nah. I'm telling you, when I saw the first video I saw of him, he was drinking the yak, talking about the Hermetic text, and it didn't make. I'm like, well, what is the yak about? And it was just,
Easy Jesus.
Huh?
He was drinking that.
He was on that yak. I'm telling you, because he said it. He's always talking to whoever's, with him, while he's doing his thing or whatever, and. It's just like I said, it was a little kooky, man. That, it was like, okay, he's doing this. What is his work? Even the Wesley Muhammad's, those guys. They out trying to, push their own agenda. But half the stuff they say makes no sense. This guy. And
let me say this. I gotta say for the record, I do gotta say this. One thing, and I appreciate the fact that our brother Wesley is out there trying to do whatever he's trying. I don't know. Well, let me just say it like this. One thing I don't like. Okay, Mayat is so far before Islam. You cannot
absolutely
Mayatic Islam. It's ridiculous. Okay, Islam didn't exist until A.D., meaning the modern era. Before the Romans took over. After, Islam didn't exist for 700 years after the Romans took over, the Europeans took over. Islam, it ain't even relevant in the time frame of Mayat and Asar and Aset Haru and Amen and many generations. So Islam is a new kid on the block, whether you like it or not. That's just a fact. I don't like the fact that he kind of tries to demean the historical reality of Kemet to try to Islamicize Kemetic spirituality. I don't really like that too tough, but I think that's a Muslim thing, but I don't really like that.
Well, when he spoke out and said Dr. Clark was wrong, and this was before you had his film, his books, and all this kind of stuff. It was like, wait a minute, man. I've seen this, this scholar, this warrior scholar of ours, debate the best of the best, and people still don't challenge his name, and he's been gone for some. He's made his transition a while now, and just like people, do whatever they do. And I think, man, at the end of the day, Brother Genie, what happens is you have Europeans who will miseducate and you have Negroes who will confuse. And again, we have to be, guarded with our consciousness because Tempo Tib was real. And when I bring up him because, he sold Africans as well. Even though he was biracial, he was half African. And he sold Africans. So we have to be careful with our consciousness because just like they sold it physically, they will sell it mentally down the river.
Let me do that. I got a lot of callers, but I want to ask you one last question. Give me a quick answer on this. Do the people that are out here giving our people this crazy stuff, are they just confused and they don't have the poignant information tailored correctly for what's best for our people? Or are they charlatans whose objective it is to confuse our people and get paid? Which one would you say?
All these people out here that's misinforming the people are straight Deco Mollies from Cotton Comes to Harlem.
And what does that mean?
And he was a charlatan.
So they know what they're doing. They're not accidentally miseducating our people.
I believe they know what they're doing.
Wow. Well, brother, we're going to have to leave it there because we got a lot of calls to get to them, but always appreciate our strong brothers from Tampa calling up, and we'll definitely see you soon. We're going to see you when we get down there on the 8th.
Yes, sir, we'll be there.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. We'll see you on the battlefield.
Bibi Fahodier.
Bibi Fahodier. What the heck is that brother talking? What the is he talking about? Somebody talk about the God wanted us to be enslaved and it was God's will. That's crazy. Ain't no God's will for African people to be enslaved. Most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. 3271, you live on One Horizon. 3271.
Yes. Peace to your brothers.
Peace.
How you doing tonight? Peace to you. Yeah, this is Brother Batar. I'm calling in from Philadelphia Revolutionary Radio, and I've been listening to War on the Rise, and I just want to give you brothers, shout out much love, because I'm definitely hearing Black Power and Black Prosperity. What I want to also ask, I was in the school of the Black Panther Party, and also the Nuwapians. I want to ask about, in terms of Dr. Malachi Z. York, because I liked a lot of his information, and I swear that we had to have some brothers somewhere on this line that, study some of the teachings of Dr. York. Now, I heard you mentioning about, different weird things, like extraterrestrials, UFOs, all these other different things. In the teachings of Dr. York, would you say that it was a little bit of the same kind of thing, meaning Dr. York taught a lot of things that was on the ground, but also what would you say for a lot of the other things that he taught, meaning, because he also taught different degrees of religion and Kemetic knowledge? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say.
I wanted to ask you about that.
I'm going to just give you asked me, I'm going to go ahead and give my personal opinion. I'm just be real. In my opinion, Dr. Malachi Z. York was a pure, unadulterated charlatan. He switched his name from so many different names and personalities, and he was obviously into the freaky deaky. He got arrested for that. What I will say is this, though, and what he would do is he would take different stuff from Kemet, different stuff from the Bible, different stuff from Islam, and just hodgepodge it together, and then create stuff, aliens and lizard people and all this weird stuff. So that's the negative side. Honestly, in a nutshell, I say it was negative. But I will say this. There was something in his charisma that was able to galvanize black people to give up everything they had and be willing to invest in trying to have something of their own. The philosophy and theology that Dr. Malachi Z. York put out there, to me, is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard in my life. It's a bunch of weirdos crap. But his ability to organize black people and take them away from a white God and to believe in divinity of a black person and drop everything they have and commit to a lifestyle. I'm not commending them on it, but I got to give them, I'll say that it's worth studying. Because whatever the magic he had to get black people to surrender their white, because one thing I got to say about him, I'll be honest with you, I'm just going to say it honestly. I don't like dealing with Malachi Z. Yorkers because they're very rude and very hostile in their mannerism. It drives me nuts. I like warm African people. Even if you're not warm, just easy to get along with or just reasonable. They're not reasonable. But I will say this. One place that I see them as superior to other black people. They ain't got no worship of no crackers. Now, that's one group that don't bounce back and forth no kind of way on worshiping no crackers. The Malachi Z. Yorkers, they're weird to me. But they don't worship no crackers. I mean, I've never met a Nuwabian who was in love with no peckerwood. I ain't saying they don't exist, but I ain't never met one. And there's some kind of magic he had in related to the aspect of being able to really get black people to say, forget this society, let's do something for ourselves. And I don't know what that is. I don't have the answer to it. But I have to say, it's kind of admirable the way he was able to get lots of people to put their money, their time, their energy into even creating their own language, doing that stuff. Those personable aspects of his charisma to get our people to actually do something for themselves, I got to give him credit in terms of being very effective in that. That lizard stuff is weird stuff, and when I looked at it, my question is, what the is he talking about?
Oh, definitely, brother. I definitely hear you, and I respect that. And also, with Dr. Ben and Ashwa Kwesi, a lot of those brothers, I like a lot of them personally, even John Henry Clark, and I like a lot of the ancient artifacts that, is the Kemetic science. But also what I want to mention, the Black Panther Party, when I came into that, I could never get out, the Black Power or the revolutionary theology, you know what I'm saying? I always liked the different teachers like Marcus Garvey or Elijah Muhammad. But also what I wanted to mention was all of the different organizations that we have. I heard you mention earlier about the debate. And with the debate, it seems like, brother, to me, I feel like debating is a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? Any organization out here in terms of black power and liberation, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you being a Christian or Muslim. Keep your religion, that's for you. I'm talking about any kind of program where brothers and sisters like yourself, You're doing a very powerful job. I've been listening here for a while. I'm on Blog Talk Radio, and I've also talked to other different brothers in Philadelphia and Jersey. And also my good brother that called tonight, Brother Johnny, he's from the Black Panther, Virginia chapter, and he's also been in Philadelphia as well. I just want to call to commend you, brothers, for strong information that you bring. And brother, it's real. And I went through many different schools of degrees. I was in the college, brother, down to earth. And I said the same thing. But I just want to listen in terms of the debates. Do you feel that it's a waste of time? To me, I feel that whatever strong unit we have right now that can address poverty, black-on-black crime, self-hatred, Negro Willie Lynchism, and any program that we can implement that's going to free our people's mind and make them mobilize spiritually, mentally, whatever thing we have to do, not magic, whatever, because it takes a long time for work, but I'm saying whatever we can do to at least influence the minds of our people to get out of chains. You know what I mean?
I got you, brother. We definitely got you, and I got to go to my next caller, but I do want you to do something before you go. Tell people your radio station, the time they can listen, and give them that information so they can know to check you out.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I'll give my personal contact number to reach me. Call me, leave a contact. My number is 412-505-3271. My number again, 412-505-3271. My blog talk page, www.blogtalkradio.com. Again, www.blogtalkradio.com. Then you put in Brother Batar. When you put that in the blog talk search box, all my programs and shows will come up. Raw, uncut truth, touching on all kinds of topics, dealing with our people and the state of this white devil, and the Negro devil as well. My blog talk, I come on around 6:30. Normally, I would say about 4 or 5 times a week. 6:30 would be the time to look for me, or you can go to my website page. And my blog talk number is 347-426-3594, 347-426-3594. And I would like to give a shout out to you, brother. Peace, much love to you, Black Power, brother. Keep doing what you do. We love you out here, Philly. Keep doing what you're doing.
Black Power.
Black Power, brother.
See, we got other people that's out here on the forefront doing some positive things, so check it out, Brother Batar, on, I think he said Blog Talk Radio. Call us up, let us know. Send us an email, let us know. Check it out, Warner Rising family. Tell us if that's something that we need to be tuning into. Thank you for calling, brother, and really appreciate that. And that brother said, anybody running around here talking about debating stuff instead of building, what the are they talking about? 9763, you live on Warner Horizon.
So BB4, yeah.
BB Fahodier, grab heaters with no delay. How you doing, sir?
I'm well. Yourself? This is Brother Born up here in New Haven. Good topic going on. I'll tell you with 2 things that I definitely, one of them I just learned was a pet peeve, and that's brothers who done got so conscious that they think that, they forget gender roles. They think that, I don't know, I talked to some brothers who think that women don't need to cook. What? And they just, brothers try to convince me that, hey, look, brothers, that's white man theology, that's white man thinking. If you think that a woman's supposed to be cooking when y'all come inside the house, and we like, brother, if y'all equally doing stuff inside the house, how is that not the woman nature to do that? And that's one of the pet peeves that I just found out that I had, because I had like 5, 6 brothers just all combating, saying, listen, man, you thinking like a white man now. You thinking that's an old slave master thinking. I said, well, I don't know, GD.
Wait a minute. You married, right?
Yes.
And your wife likes to cook, right?
Yes.
And she loves to feed her husband, don't she?
Yeah, she like to sit there and just watch. This is what I was like, yo, she'll sit there and just watch me eat. I know what I'm saying, and I know she just watching just to watch me eat because she want to see me eating.
Listen, bro. I got to jump in here. You done hit some passion now. Listen, my grandmother, who was like one of my favorite people that ever existed. I tell people all the time, my grandmother Even when I wouldn't call her and tell her I was on the way, I don't know how she would know. I pop up at the house. She got fish and cornbread cooking for me until she was 84, 85 years old, till she passed, bro. She could barely walk, and she was still cooking. And look, she would sit there and lay back and just watch me dog the food. And she didn't have to take out no trash. Like my house, man, queen. Honestly, I don't know if she know what a trash can is. She don't touch no trash. She don't take no bags, cars. I got that. I do that stuff. I would be there trying to cook when I ain't even a good cook, and she can throw down. Are they talking? What are they talking about?
That's what I'm saying. What the hell are they going through? I don't know, Genie.
Yeah, man, call them up, man. Give them a hug or something, bro, because they might be going through some issues, man, because it ain't looking like a black woman's cooking it. Look, if you take the black woman's cooking away, you don't take away 10-20% of what makes her superior to anyone who look like a black woman.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, who is going to be better to bring forth nutrition to the house than the nurturer of the house? This is nature. This is what she's going to naturally do. And that's what all of them were saying. They all would agree that, my woman, she is more naturally inclined to do the cooking. So I'm saying, brother, then how can you even say that it's something right in my mind to naturally think that is something that she's supposed to be doing?
Look, man, go get them dudes some breast pumps and tell them, well, hell, if they're going to do that, pump the milk to the child, too.
They got some man boobs. You know how they do. Come
on, look, man, this what bothers me. There's certain things that women do that give them advantages and power over us. I ain't got to mention all of them, but one of them is she controls and dominates their stomach. When I'm not lying, man. I love coming home because let me tell you something. This is an avatar. She might don't look like it. I don't believe she from the north. She throw down like she South Kakalaki. This street man, she's making this, and now y'all Bahamas can't have none, but she's making this salmon, bro.
Yeah.
God, I don't even talk about it because I'm on the fast right now, but I want something to eat tomorrow, just talking about it.
Definitely, because I definitely think that's something that is, just natural to all men and women, at least African nation anyway. But, the other thing, Brother Genie, man, is, now I done heard of the reptilians, but the other day a brother threw on me, the brother name was Elohim or something like that, and he said that we was cat peoples from a feline galaxy, and that when we look at the Sphinx in Egypt, and we look at the pictures on the walls, and how the pyramids in Giza is lined up with Sirius and all that show that we from another planet, and we really cat peoples, and we got feline DNA. And I said, this joker has lost his mind. You left the building with this mess right here. That's when they go out of space like that. That's one of the things that I'm just like, yo, man, what are you talking about, man? Ain't no way. I think what I need to sum that up as people who don't study no history. People who say, I love Malcolm X, but you ain't studied enough to know that Malcolm said that history is best qualified to reward all your research. You cannot do research while watching the damn Discovery Channel. That ain't research.
On a temple saying that we cat people.
Yeah, so that we were cat people from a feline galaxy, and the space was showing us that we was once half animal. And now he was only saying cats, as though he didn't recognize it was Horus. He didn't recognize no other, room. He didn't recognize none of that other stuff because they don't do no research. This
Bama watching too much Thundercats. Turn the TV off.
Definitely got to turn the TV off. Well, I got an answer though, Genie. I'm gonna give you an answer to what you were talking about with brother Dr. York, and I'm gonna jump off the line. But it was something that the last caller sparked in me that I thought about was Dr. York. He acted real superior to other people. his style was he crushed weak knowledge. He always was putting something out. 100 questions to ask him more. 100 questions to ask the NOI. 100 questions to ask the Nation of Gods of Earth, or Christian, Hebrew. And his style it wasn't that of like a combative debate, but he put a lot of his information out in a debative type form to show and prove that my knowledge is very superior. And I think that a lot of black people, we'd like to know that what we holding on to is the most supreme thing. And when you get something that feels like that, you run with it. So I think that was one of the things that he really, utilized, was that he utilized that, look at what I'm writing. I'm infallible. You can't beat my knowledge. No matter what, no matter who you are, you can't beat it. And that's something that I think our people gravitate towards. It's just the strength of knowing that you know something superior.
Mm. So I guess what you're telling me is I got to start saying, look, fool, if you ain't watched the feminization of black male, you idiot, you a coon, and you a Negro, and you can't. That's my speech.
We might have to like that, Genie.
Oh, man. Look, bro, as much as I would like to try to be egomaniac,
no doubt. Well, with that, man, I'll definitely thank you for the program. To all the callers, all the listeners up there, we got to just keep this thing going strong. BB48.
BB48, soldier, appreciate that. Man, people doing long calls tonight, but I'm enjoying them. I ain't going to lie. So we just going to go and take this thing over because we got more people calling. So everybody that's on the line, don't worry. I'm coming to you. The number 760-569-7676. 760-569-7676. Participation code 948-656 #. The question tonight is, what the are you talking about? Mayasa Bomani, you can do a cracker grimy. He can be white trash or a crooked Jaime. You in the house.
B48, brother, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, pardon self, man. I'm on the move, man, but I had to stay on the line because there's a couple of things I want to address that was spoke about on the show. I called in late, but first, I'm tired of these emerald wearing, topaz, incense burning, funnies out here, man, acting like they're conscious, man. It's making me sick to my stomach. And let me just tell you about a conversation I had with a brother who I really love this brother, man. I really love and revere this brother, but he was saying some of the craziest stuff to me on the phone a couple of days ago about shape-shifting reptilians and how they got cloaks that they could be standing right next to you and you won't know. And it's really making me sick because it's like if you read a Zachariah Sitchin or if you read Behold the Pale Horse, all of a sudden you're conscious. Like, this is crazy. I mean, like, to me, all this stuff is escapism. People scared to face this white man. It's just a way to deny the fact that we got to fight and blood got to be shed.
Mm. Let me tell a story, and it's so in line with what you're saying. You brought it back to my attention. It's an honest-to-God true story. My brother, Kevin from Dallas, said he was hollering at his man. And he said to his man was like, he said, we got to do something about police brutality. This is back in the early 2000s, like 2002, 2003, somewhere in there. Then he said, no. It was in the late 1990s. I met him in 2000. And he said, he talked to his man. He's like, yeah, man, you got to do something about these police. And he said, look, man, I'm studying my metaphysics. He said, what I want to do is get to the level that when they pull me over and come up to the car, I can just evaporate. And disappear and show up somewhere else. So my man said, well, if you're so powerful that you can evaporate, why wouldn't you evaporate the cracker instead of yourself? And when he said the story, bro, I was laughing so hard because I was like, I know there's not no coon going around talking about he's studying his metaphysics because he's going to try to disappear. If that's not the clearest example of escapism that you're talking about, because if you got the power to make yourself escape and disappear, why wouldn't you get rid of the cracker? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, one time I was watching that Negro Ray Hagen's DVD about Rex 84, and he went through the whole plot and plan for crackers to exterminate black folk, and at the end, all he said was, you know what we got to do? We got to pray. I took the DVD out, and I flew out the window like a Frisbee. Like, Now, to touch on what you mentioned before about, you asked a question about what's going on with New York. Now, you know, I'm born and raised here. I'm from Brooklyn, and I agree with the brother, one of the brothers who called back a few callers back about Brooklyn and Queens probably having the strongest soldiers, and you know, some about Harlem, man. Harlem dudes are kind of creepy. No offense, but that's just my opinion. But I find that in New York City, some of the weakest black men in America lives in New York City.
Dang.
That because if you look at, like, for instance, whenever an injustice happens to somebody, you know, to a brother or a sister in other parts of the country, take like Oscar Grant, for instance, in Oakland, like brothers turn the city upside down. You don't see that in New York. Brother gets shot 50 times, nothing happens. The young brother Ramali Graham killed in the Bronx, nothing happens. Like we're weak. We refuse to resist up here, and something like metaphysics or whatever that is, like it's perfectly suited for the weak men here in New York City, because it's totally take away the option of having to physically fight these crackers.
Mm. Okay, so let me ask you. So you co-sign us, so we don't feel bad about saying that about New York. Here's a real question. Keep it real now.
Mm.
Was it one time that you used to sit around and watch your Bobby Hemming and be like, yo, man, yo, that's deep. Come on, keep it real, bro. Keep it real.
Listen, man. No, listen, my first time watching a Bobby Hemming DVD, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
Okay.
There was a couple times I found myself listening to Phil Valentine, and I still didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But I didn't find him as weird as Bobby Hemming, though. Bobby Hemming sitting around drinking a yak, talking about black women, they supposed to be whores, some craziness. He just be saying something really off the wall and crazy.
So you were never twisted upside down, inside out, trying to figure out the majestic level of the intergalactic. Okay, did you ever believe in lizard people? Don't lie, man. Come on, get it. Wait a minute.
Wait.
No, you can tell New York. Tell her honest to God truth. Be honest.
I'm gonna say this. Like when, and when I was growing up, man, just trying to find my just trying to find some consciousness, man. I was studying Dr. York's information. But I will say that the one valuable thing I got from studying his teachings, or should I say I got from the Nuwapians, is that learning how to question everything.
Mm.
And in learning that, I even questioned his teachings, and I came across some things that was inaccurate. And, which led me to, go out. Actually, it's something that he said that made me kind of step outside of his teachings, which was, he said that some of his most loyal or some of the students, he said, who get the information are the ones who aren't in the organization. So that led me to go out and find other information. And once I started questioning his information and realized that some of the things he was saying was inaccurate and just plain crazy, like a city within the earth called Shambhala or something like that, and the planet Risk and all this craziness, I found my African mind by going out and questioning even his teachings.
So you did a real circular, sophisticated non-answer. I said, was you sitting around and one time?
No, never.
Identify lizard people. Come on, man.
No, I never believed in no lizard people. I never believed in nobody, no aliens, none of that crap. Never in my life did I believe in a reptilian, shape shifting and all that. I was never into the Zechariah system teachings and all that.
If I come across a video or a rapper you talking about the reptilians, I'm a play it on Warner Horizon, bro.
Only reptilian on planet Earth is this cracker.
That's right.
He's a cold-blooded beast.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. We really, 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 truly appreciate that, brother. And thank you for calling in and adding that wisdom to it. And we'll see you this Saturday in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yes, sir. Arkansas, get ready. United Front, the whole AIM family, Queens of Silver, Brothers Keeper. We're coming out there. Jay Black. Let's do it, brother.
Let's do it. Be before
you.
That brother said, these fools talking about green alien lizard people. What the are you talking about? If it ain't United Front, it ain't united. It ain't going to be in the front. Let's go. 5498, you live on Warner Horizon.
Okay.
5498. Going once? Going twice?
Okay.
All right, they just listening. Brother Body Shots in the house. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. How you doing, Soldier?
Oh, man, my stomach hurt, bro. I'm in stitches over here.
You ain't going to back police come? You're not going to practice your metaphysical reality of the psychosis?
Nah, man, I got a Harry Potter cloak. Hey, my Harry Potter cloak is red, black, and green, though. Hey, man, what is really good out here? You know, what is high? What is higher? What is learn? What is learning? What is higher learning? We got some crazy, asinine, backwards, just degenerates. I got a list. I'm just going to run down my list, man. It just, you just stop me when you want to stop me. We got just cornballs, just ridiculous individuals, scrupulous, running around talking about we should call each other N-words because back in the day we was running around the motherland calling each other niggas. We got fake pseudo-historians running around talking about Chinese people are Africans, legitimizing the imperialistic aspirations of China to rape Africa for all its resources. We got vegetable warriors talking about we don't need to eat food. All we need is some water and air to survive. And we got Negroes out here house squatting, talking about we sovereign and we should just go just live inside a house with no electricity, no water. I mean, you got these fools with women and babies, hair ain't been washed in God knows how long, just doing number ones and number twos in the same 5-gallon bucket on the side of the house. Now they making, now they done crossed over with Uncle Luke. They making sex tapes. This is ridiculous. Number 5. Now, I love Rastas, man. I got so much love for Rastas. I can't get with the Rasta when they start talking this one love gibberish. I don't have no one love for no cracker. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no universal love out here. What is this spelling I? Like, you know, the I and the vowel I. Simon is out here spelling it with a E, a Y, and another E, as in like third eye or something. Just weird crackpot stuff, man. Number 7. Whenever you talk about putting the heat on this cracker, you always got some sophisticated empress or queen or your highness talking about some, oh, you can't fight the whites with their own guns and their own bullets. If we find any excuse to go shoot a brother with the gun and the bullets that we got from the cracker, but somehow these crackers are impervious to their own guns and their own bullets. Ridiculous. Then we got other people out here that want to say Abraham Lincoln, Shakespeare, and King James were all black. Ridiculous. This is number 9, and this joint got me. We are Africans. You got fools running around here, imbeciles, talking about we melanated peoples. What the hell is a melanated peoples? And we Asiatics. Asia is like above another parallel. Africa is Africa. And then, okay, this number 10, this joint got me. I'm at like an African Day of Liberation, and the brother's up doing libation, and he says babies are ancestors, and so these people are pouring libations, and it's like little Pookie, Ashe, little Titi, Ashe. I'm like, what kind of libation is this, Joe? Like, the libation, they was calling up the name of, like, gangbangers and drug dealers and prostitutes. What kind of libation is this, man? Just some weird just weird, it's crazy, man. And it's just, our people are just so saturated with this nonsense. And before I get off the line, I thought when this dude Farrakhan said he was on a spaceship, like, immediately I was like, dang, he must have been playing his violin for a group of small-head Cleons, right? And he was probably playing that violin. He's probably playing that song, I Give Myself Away, you know what I'm saying, on his little violin for a group of Cleons. That's crazy. That man got anal probed on a spaceship. Spock told Farrakhan to lift his sack and spread his cheeks. Are we really going to follow this guy? This is ridiculous. Matter of fact, I'm going down New York Avenue the other day, and you got FOI out there with a picture of a green Xenu and a black Xenu, talking about Xenu was really black.
Wait, hold. You being funny, right?
Yeah, I'm being funny, man.
Okay, yeah, okay. Look, it sounds so real today. I can't tell what's real and what's...
Hey, but before I go, Dr. Amos said something, and it never really resonated, but it resonates after listening to this program. It's real. I knew it was going to be funny, but it's like, wow, people are so saturated with nonsense. If you try to tell them the truth, it wouldn't even click with them. Dr. Amos said that the reason why there's free speech in this country is because they've already miseducated the people to the point where they know they won't listen to the truth.
Wow. So you saying our people are so thoroughly miseducated that it's going to take a very sophisticated means by which to get to their minds because they've been so miseducated already.
Yeah, it's like they've been educated in the cracker system, and then they get around some so-called conscious, and they get re-educated. So it's like, how the heck do you re-educate a re-educated individual? It's just like, how many times can it be done?
Well, brother, I know one thing. It was definitely, this was probably the funniest call I heard. I couldn't stop laughing. I mean, once you started going, it's like you had them all lined up. And I mean, especially when you say, you got these dudes talking about Tom Jones, King James, and some other is black. And I'm like, yeah, they really do that. Yeah, they what the are they talking about, brother?
Great.
Brother, we appreciate this call. Man, that was some good comic relief. I think that when we put it up on YouTube, this is going to be one. That call is going to be one for the decades. If there's anybody that wasn't laughing at that, you don't have a sense of humor because it proves that our people are crazy. Well, with that, brother, definitely say we love you, and we definitely see you this weekend, this Saturday. We'll see you down in Little Rock, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
Habibi Fodie.
Habibi Fodie. Man, that brother had me. I about my stomach about to start hurting and laughing at that, man. We really got some weird stuff going on out here. Let's see, 5209, you live on Warner Horizon.
Habibi Fodie.
Habibi Fodie, brother.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. How about yourself?
All right. Well, first thing I want to say, race first, period.
Yes.
Second thing I want to say, yeah, I admit I did listen to Bobby Hemming. I admit it. Because now, I just came to conscious a couple of months ago when I turned 30.
Yes, sir.
So on YouTube, looking up different videos, and, YouTube is a rabbit hole. The farther you go, the more lost you get. So I started listening to Bobby Hemming. And I seen that video when he was talking about, the UFOs and the ice road and everything. But I can honestly say the only thing that saved me from getting way too deep in that was John Henry Clark's, the Dr. Ben Yakins, and I love Amos Wilson. I love the ancestor Amos Wilson because what he say in his lectures is so hard hitting today, and a lot of these lectures he did back in the 80s, and it's still relevant today. That anybody that asks me anything about knowing, I tell him, you know what, go on YouTube and type in Dr. Amos Wilson, because he will let you know from the get-go. My thing that makes me ask you what they're talking about when people say they had a near-death experience or they seen the afterlife. And these people say that they seen the afterlife and they paint this beautiful white crystalline picture. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you know what? Man, a lot of us died in the Atlantic slave trade. A lot of us died in the Arab slave trade. So I'm thinking to myself, if hundreds of millions of us died innocently in these slave trades, you mean the hell you ain't see no black?
Hello,
that is what.
You going in and out on us a little bit. Can you stay in the stock? Because this is a good call. We want to make sure we get this.
I said, I think to myself, how many of us died in the Atlantic slave trade? Mm-hmm. How many of us died innocently in the Arab slave trade? And when these people say that they seen heaven, that they had this near-death in heaven experience, and I think to myself, over hundreds of millions of us died innocently dealing with these people in these slave trades. And I asked myself, you mean you ain't seen no black folk up there looking at you dead in the face, saying,
"Oh man, your phone breaking up on us again." Oh man, that brother breaking it down deep, and his phone breaking up on us, brother. So I'm gonna go ahead and say what you're saying because I think we lost. He may call back, but that's real heavy. I have never heard a black person. Wow. I have never in all my life heard a black person say when they look at heaven, they seen the afterlife and it was beautiful with milk and honey, even though they're lactose intolerant. But they seen the afterlife that they seen no black people there. I've never heard that. I've never heard them say anything that suggests that when they saw the afterlife, there was even one black person there. I totally can relate to what my brother's saying. I think that's absolutely the case, and I never thought about that. So even in our envisioning of the afterlife, we ain't even got near one black person in the afterlife. Wow, that's deep. And even though I think Brother Body Chops probably gave the funniest call, and maybe Brother Bomani gave probably one of the deepest calls tonight. We had a lot of good calls tonight. Actually, we had a lot of great calls. But actually, that brother just said something that I think is probably the most important thing that might have came out of this program. I think he gave us a solution. The antidote to all of this weirdo creepazoid stuff are the greats. If you can sit a person down and let them watch Dr. John Henry Clark, I think that Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Amos Wilson, I think that those brothers, from Ashford Kwesi, master teacher, those brothers, those elders, and their wisdom is actually the antidote to undo the weirdness that comes into the African mind based on some of this freaky-deaky weirdo stuff that we get out here. And brothers and sisters, write that down and log that in. What you got to do is you got to get The Great and Mighty Walk by Dr. John Henry Clark. You got to get some Amos Wilson DVDs and audios, and have a brother or sister. Don't tell them what you're going to do. Just pop it in the car on your way somewhere on a long trip or something. Let them hear that stuff because that can deprogram the space-age supersonic mind. I like that. I wish that brother had not dropped that call, but if we get him back on, we'll definitely let him come back on because I want to find out. He just come into consciousness a month ago. When did he hear War on the Horizon? 1404, you live on War on the Horizon.
A BB for Hodier.
A BB for Hodier. How you doing, my sister?
I'm all right. I just wanted to say that I wanted to speak with you one-on-one, and I want to speak to you about something that's not on topic and stuff like that. But I don't know if I could do that.
It's off topic.
Yeah.
Send us an email at liberation@waronthehorizon.com, and then we'll try to get back in contact with you probably tomorrow and see if we can touch base. All right?
Well, let me write this down. Okay. What was it again?
Liberation at waronthehorizon.com. And send us an email and just tell us the time that you want to talk and give us the phone number, and we'll try to get back to you. All right, sister?
All right.
All right. Thank you. All right, 6523, you live on Warner Horizon.
Yes, that's you.
Six-
A
BB for Hodier.
We here in New Haven. It's me and my husband. We listening to the show, and a lot of points actually, hit with us. We heard a lot of different things that, we were like, what the hell? That doesn't even make no daggone sense. But we just appreciate the show, and we're sitting here listening.
All right. Well, thank you all for sitting there listening and supporting.
BB for Hodier.
BB for Hodier, Warrior, how you feeling?
No, it's us.
He's saying he asked you how you doing.
Oh, I'm doing great, brother.
We are sitting here having side conversations about what's going on, so you got to forgive us. We in two conversations.
I listen to the program, then talk about what you're hearing on the program.
Yes, sir. And we know the caller you just hung up with. We just proud of her for calling in. We want to say peace to her and her man in there.
That's right. Where you?
So we here. We in New Haven. We trying. We moving, but yeah, just trying to get some things going. That's all.
All right. Beautiful. So y'all got something to contribute, or you just tuning in tonight?
Yeah, we just tuning in. Just saying peace.
All right. Good to hear from you.
You as well.
All right.
Peace.
Oh, man, it's the family tonight. I got my brother. He hung up last week. I think he had to go back to work, but he's with us tonight, and I know he's going to come in here and make that contribution. My brother, how you feel tonight?
I feel good. Thanks for asking. I hung up last week because you were saying we got to go, so I said, hey, I'm not going to keep the brother.
I know. I felt bad because I said that you was the call I was waiting to get to.
Well, here it is. I'm calling tonight because I heard you say something about group. Well, first of all, your tagline was, what are they talking about?
Yes.
And, so the first thing that came to my mind as I listened late in the program, I didn't hear your monologue, but it's one of the reasons why I'm very reluctant to join groups. As I told you when I first began to call your show, as a child, my mother and father enrolled me into the Nation of Islam. I mean, the brother, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was making moves in the black community, and they felt like that was the best place for me so that I can be taught by someone who looked like me, as the public school system was just shot. And so, however, coming out of the Nation of Islam, being Islamically inclined as a child, I've gotten away from religion long ago. And at least he was saying, may peace be with you, something agreeable. However, there were some other things that we didn't need in our own home life or in our culture. However, the economics, the empowerment of doing for self is something that's always stuck with us. And so when you hear brothers like him and you hear, people like Dr. York, I have to agree with you. Here's another guy who he's an excellent salesman, and he has a charismatic personality, and whatever you were into, he created a product or a service to give that or sell it to you. So he got me when he began to talk about him being the great-great-grandson of Muhammad Ahmed al-Mahdi. I'm like, whoa, what's that about? And then he switched up and went to the Nubian Islamic Hebrews. He lost me. So what I'm getting from the conversation is that we have various people for good intentions, pure intentions, or charlatan intentions who bring things to the black community to earn a living, make money, and bring information to people who buy it of their own free will or of their ignorance. And so I'm here. I've always told you, I say my name is Kordofan. It's an area that you can point on the map in Central Sudan. I'm Nubian, and I tend to read what's on Warren Horizon, what Dr. Ben has to say, what Dr. Clark has to say, Amos Wilson has to say, and there's a brother down there near you, Dr. Claude Anderson, who has the Harvest Institute, wrote a couple of publications called White Wealth, Black Labor, and Powernomics. I think there's truth in a lot of what various organizations have to say, and it's an incredible discipline that one has to develop to critically think, take the truth from what's being said, and apply it to your life as opposed to just carrying it in your head. So, it's it's a huge work that you have to do to hear what's going out here in the world, raise your family, do what's right for yourself and your family and your people, and not get caught up and get used in a bad way by people who look like you running organizations.
Well, brother, that's an excellent point that you're bringing in, and I think that's another critical thing we got to take from this. And I don't know the magic to it. I think that the brother, and I see he called back, so I'm going to go back to him before we get off, but by him saying the names Dr. Clark and Dr. Amos Wilson, and I think Claude Anderson, if you're talking strictly about economics, applies in that way as well. Give people who give practical, real solutions and are also good speakers so they can hear. And perhaps that can deprogram some of this space age supersonic nonsense that we're getting from other sources. Do you think that's a reasonable conclusion?
Most reasonable and practical, something that we can use in our life as opposed to walking around with this intellectual masturbation sounding deep and not getting anything done. So, yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that point.
Well, brother, as always, calling in, really appreciate that call, and we'll definitely see you on the battlefield.
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic hearing from him, brother. Always calling with that depth of wisdom, coming from the Sudan with that melanated. Oh, that's right, he's black, because brother Body Shot said, "What is melanated?" With that deeply melanated black African tone, where the Sun Ra speaks to us and the ancestral wisdom of the ancient Sudan, which was Kemet. The brother brings the wisdom all the time. He said something too that it just rung a humongous bell in my head. I don't know how I could forget this. One of the things that drives me nuts is to hear somebody who's supposed to be in the African-centered community talking about, the liberation ain't about money. It ain't got nothing to do with money. You trying to capitalize on the people. You shouldn't be selling it. You should be giving it away for free. This is the most ridiculous and retarded, completely idiotic, thoughtless ideas we could ever come up with. And I don't blame our people, because most of our people, like myself, come from poor backgrounds. That's how you think when you don't have nothing. The only person in the world that don't want nothing and don't think that if you do something you should ever get something is a preconditioned black person. Everybody else around the world knows that in order to produce anything, you have to have some form of financial capital or wealth to trade with. So if you do want your children to get good books, you have to print them. No one's going to print them for free. And what happens is it's the weirdest thing in the world. Everybody out there wants the people who work the hardest for the race to do it for free. But none of them work for free, and all of them are broke, so they can never give you anything to help you. So they literally run around talking about, see, it's not about money and all this stuff, but yet they broke. They don't have no money. And then they complain, we don't have nothing in our community. Why don't people put money together and do so? Well, you just said you don't want nobody to have money. How you going to put together what you don't have? And then the people that come out like the Amos Wilsons of the world, we don't support the way we should. You complain about the price of their products when they give you a wealth of knowledge that they studied their whole life for a very reasonable price, but it's not reasonable to you because you want everybody to be black and broke, something that they trained us with. I think it's one of the most ridiculous. What the are you talking about? No broke person has ever successfully won a revolution. Every revolution, Che Guevara, we love talking about Che Guevara. Che Guevara was not broke. Che Guevara was an attorney. He was a doctor. Fidel Castro, look at the Cuban Revolution. Fidel Castro was an attorney. If you go around the world, Nat Turner, he was the most prosperous black person in that society. He was walking around freely. Denmark Vesey had won a lottery and bought his own freedom and was a preacher that made good money. David Walker was a writer. These people are not broke people that launch revolutions. It's not true. They're not broke because the people pay them to launch revolution. If you don't pay them to launch revolution, they don't have no tools. They can't buy no weapons. They can't put anything together to do anything. It's an absolutely ridiculous concept. We should be illegal for African nationalists to be broke and more illegal to stay broke. We got to find a way to produce something so that we won't be poverty-stricken. It's part of racism and white supremacy. 2387, you live on War on the Horizon. 2387. 2387 going once, going twice. All right. 7486, you live on Warner Horizon. 7486, going once, going twice. All right. I'm going to ask my brother from 5209, you call back in. We heard your comment. Could you answer a quick question for us so we can go ahead? We're going to wrap the show up after 2 more phone calls. So hang on, don't hang up. You're still on the line. But I got a question for you. You asked an excellent question. You said, how come when black people talk about they've been to the other side, they talk about that, but they ain't never, ever talked about experience seeing a black person? That's deep.
Yeah, because right now I'm reading Kabuka about, Brother Baruti.
Yes.
And he was saying, a lot of us died. 100 million, to get that 15 million Africans to be enslaved in the Americas, they had to kill over hundreds of millions of us. And it's not only that, the European slave trade, it's the Arab slave trade that's still going on. Not only the Arab slave trade, the genocide, that happened in Darfur, Namibia, the Congo, and things like that. And so when not only just black people, but when people say they seen heaven, hundreds of millions of us died innocently. And when they see heaven, they don't see a crowd of black people there.
Mm.
So I got to call them on that. It's like, you lying. You lying. You lying, but you ain't seen one black person that died innocently dealing with y'all. It's crazy.
Mm.
It's
and let me do this. We I don't know if you heard, but we talked about it while you were gone from the radio.
Yeah.
So we had some dialogue about that. So we got that point. I want to ask you one more point before you get off, because you brought up the point. What we said is that when you said Dr. Amos Wilson and Dr. John Henry Clark, we thought about it. We came to the conclusion that one of the ways that we can counter some of this wacko, quacko, jacko stuff going off in people's minds is to actually play those particular elders, Dr. Clark and Amos Wilson, for them if we can, because they can decrazalize, if that is a word, some of the stuff that's going on in our people's minds. But here's my question. You said you've just come into your consciousness a month ago.
Well, last year, October, when I turned 30.
Okay, last year, October. How did you run across Warner Horizon?
I think it was, I'm from Chicago, and I made friends with some people at the Carruthers Centers down in Chicago, and I went through his likes page because, I was telling him, there's some Facebook groups that I like, and he said, yeah, just go through mine. And I think that's how I found you all, through that, through him.
How long?
How
long you been listening?
Maybe a good solid month, maybe.
Fantastic. Now, I don't know if you know, but we have some programs, some older programs, like we had interviews with Mama Mabel Williams, Robert F. Williams' wife, and things like that we still have on the internet.
Yeah, I actually saw all 4 parts of the feminization of the black male, and I plan on looking at Predators. Plan on looking at Predators in Our Midst. So it's out there. And if I could say one more thing, I want to take about your time. The Sudanese brother that just called, I want to second him. The Dr. Clark Anderson, Black Labor, White Wealth. I just got through finished reading that, and that is a good book for people to read, especially African immigrants coming here, because I know a lot of them do not mess with African Americans. They set up shop in other people's neighborhoods because they only see the causes of why we are this way, they only see the symptoms of why we are this way, and not the causes. And when people read that book, he put down in there economically why we are behind, why our neighborhoods are like this, why everybody's in our neighborhoods, and that's a good book to read. Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Clark Anderson, and Sunni's brother was right. That book that's a good book to read on economics.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate you tuning in. We hope you keep tuning in. Make sure you call back, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Beautiful day.
Beautiful day. I think 4842 called back. 4842. You live on Warner Horizon.
Hi. How are you?
All right. How you doing? Oh, did we already talk?
No, I haven't spoken with you.
Okay. Yes. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. I just had a question. I wonder if you had heard about Dr. Sebi at all and what you thought about him.
Yeah, I've definitely heard about Dr. Sebi, and I don't have any. I've heard a lot of good things from some people about him. I heard some people that speculate, but I haven't had any experience with any of his medicine or anything like that. So, I did get by one thing he bought for energy or something like that, but I wouldn't know enough to make a call one way or the other on that.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And thank you for calling. That's a very good question. You know what? Perhaps on Facebook, you can maybe ask around and see what people have to say about, his products and get an opinion that way.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, sister, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
All right.
All right. Love it, love it. Everybody call up. They know you can call up. It's a friendly place. As long as you don't call up here loving no white folks, we'll be all right. Let's see. 2303. You live on Warner Horizon. 2303?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I know you've been hanging in there, my brother.
Yeah, I was just kind of listening to the show. I really didn't, I wasn't planning to comment.
Okay. No problem. We appreciate you listening to the program. How long you been listening, bro?
I don't listen regularly. I think I've listened to maybe 2 or 3 shows, but I did see your feminization of the black male. And I thought that was awesome, and a lot of the stuff in it. I was curious, like what movie it came from, but since then I've seen the movie that it came from, and I really try to, like, people who have a hard time connecting with this information. I try to share that movie, Goodbye, Uncle Tom, with those people, whether it be family members or friends, and believing that movie can really, if you have any doubts about this information, that movie has a way of kind of getting your attention.
Let me ask you this, just real quickly, so I can go to the next call. But how well has it worked using Goodbye, Uncle Tom to wake up the African minds that you've been sharing it with? How well has it worked?
Really, I haven't. I got a little feedback from a couple people, and it was. I got the impression that it really it took them back. It really took them back, and I think it maybe opened their ears as far as like, well, get some more information.
Okay.
A couple more things that you might need to look into, and
yes,
be just as shocked. The history is not as simple as we like to believe it is.
Well, let me do this, brother. I appreciate that, and what we're going to do is make that suggestion for all brothers and sisters out there. You can get the movie Goodbye, Uncle Tom. You can actually watch it in its entirety on YouTube as well. Goodbye, Uncle Tom is a film that was made in the 1970s and it deals with the horrors of the slave trade in raw, gruesome detail. So that's something that the brother said is good for opening people's minds and maybe take them out of the spaceships and bring them back to reality, brother. So we appreciate that. We hope you continue to tune in. We'll see you on the battlefield.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think that's good that brother brought that up. I think that's another good thing. We got Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Claude Anderson as it relates to economics, Dr. John Henry Clark, and also Goodbye, Uncle Tom is something that can shake somebody out, as well as the feminization of the black male, that lecture. I think, let me make sure, 7486. Did we already get you already?
No, I haven't spoken with you. Peace, how you doing, brother?
Fantastic. How you doing, sister?
I'm doing okay. I actually got a chance to meet you all when we came down to Houston this past February. So I just wanted to say thank you once again for coming down here and sharing all your information. I'm a very big follower of War on the Horizon.
I think I remember you came out to eat with us, didn't you?
Yep, I sure did.
Yeah, I remember. Sister, how things been going?
Things have been going good. Things have been going real good. Thanks for asking.
That's good. That's good. Well, we plan on coming back down to Houston. We haven't picked a date yet, but we're looking at sometime, hopefully before the end of the summer. We want to come back down there. The Houston audience was strong, good vibes down there. We enjoy it a lot in that deep south. That's our kind of spot. So we look forward to seeing you sometime soon.
Oh, yeah, we enjoyed you too, brother. But I wanted to make some comments about Bobby Hemmett and what some of the other brothers were saying about Dr. Malachi York and what you were saying about Nawapians, and especially what you were saying about them being rude. Because it's funny that I actually met one of the nights during the lecture. And I won't say his name. I won't put him on blast, but the brother, he was definitely a very intelligent brother, a very conscious brother, if you want to call him that. But there were just some things about him, like you said, he was he had a very superior attitude and could come off very strong and rude, which is a turnoff because if, you're supposed to be, exuding, everything that's about, being, an African man and being proud, there's nothing that has to be arrogant about that. So, I really, it really just, it started off, pretty good, but then it just kind of started going downhill because he mentioned during a couple of our outings, that he was supposedly a son of Dr. York, and that his mother was a concubine in the compound, and he was also talking about how he had about 150 brothers and sisters, and it was some crazy stuff. He also mentioned some things about the spaceships and his father being able to contact extraterrestrial beings, and I've been doing studies and research since, I was in college, probably about, 5 or 6 years, back. And, I've looked at all the YouTube videos, Bobby Hemmett with the cognac and, that whole thing. And, the only thing that I looked at with Bobby Hemmett that I thought was, some on-point information was what he was saying about the boule and the black boule. But all the other videos I never could really catch. But this particular brother, he was just really, he was very, very rude and had a very superior attitude. And, I don't have much contact with him anymore because, he went on to say that, so I told him I would like to be friends, and he told me that he didn't have any space for friends. So I just wanted to, add that in to what you were saying about, a lot of them being kind of, not only are they're weird, but they are rude.
And, I mean, we don't, to your point, we don't, it's not like we just talking about people, but I think it's good, even if they heard it, I think it'd be good because even if the brother's gone, he's incarcerated, he ain't coming back, but they still have some business and things of that nature. And I think, I'll be quite honest, we were going to do some business with them recently in a different state. I won't say what state, but literally when the person told me that they wanted to have the event there, the first thing I said is nah. I said, I like going to black businesses where I don't think there'll be no problems because we really treat black people well, but I get the sense that if we do this, what's going to end up happening is they're going to not like something that we're saying is going to become an issue, and then instead of letting us finish our thing, they're going to start, they're going to try to tell us how to run stuff. And I just had that feeling, but I didn't say it out loud. Sure enough, the brother went ahead and got it booked. How about it was booked, and the week before the event, they go there and to the flyers, and they got something else booked the same day. Me and the brother went back. I said, I told you that's why I didn't want to do that. And I'm not saying this is a negative thing. I'm saying this from the perspective they have some businesses, and I think that they have some good products, and I think people would support them. But I think they need to look at their black business ethics and their black business, just the personality of the Nubian, because it turns a lot of people off. And even if a person don't want to be Nubian, if you got a business, whether I'm Nubian or not, if I got green dollars, I want to support my brother or sister, whether we agree with everything or not. But if you come off to me like you disrespectful, you better than me, and it don't matter who that is, if they black, no matter what you believe, not just Nubian, it's not a good thing. And I think that's something, if they hear that, they can say it's not to knock them down, but to say, hey, look, you the one with the business, not me. Treat people with respect as other Africans.
Right.
They'll give you their money and take whatever it is you have in exchange for that. And I think they could do better in terms of business.
Right. And, the thing is like, just to, like, the point of the whole show, like, what are they talking about? when you're new to the consciousness, it's kind of hard to like digest a lot of the information because you're going through a deprogramming process. So, when you get, sidetracked with all this escapism about from aliens and, all this other stuff, that's going to kind of like, especially if you, grew up Christian like me, that's going to make you retreat automatically because, like, honestly, a friend of mine, that killed himself, one of the last things that he was dealing with, and not to, talk about, Nuwapians or, say anything bad about them, but, just like I've come into contact with, them or like their literature probably about 3 times, in my journey. And the first time was, when I wasn't even conscious and I was watching the program Dr. Phil. And it was some people on there and they were, I guess, speaking against, him and whatever allegations were put against him. So that was the first time. The second time was, when I met a brother, and well, not when I met a brother, but one of my friends, he killed himself in 2009. And he was an Army veteran and, a real good brother, and he was coming into consciousness himself. But he actually gave me a book or sent me a book by Dr. Malachi York. And he, started, like, following the teachings and everything. And then, all of a sudden, probably about a month or 2 later, he kills himself. So, like, I don't know if that's, like, directly, related, but, it's just, like, a pattern of, like, coming into contact with stuff that just doesn't fit or just isn't right. To me, a lot of people have it in their spirit, real recognizes real. And when, you have a grain of intelligence in your brain, you're able to kind of, like, separate things and be able to say, nah, I'm not really too much going for that.
You know what? And I really appreciate this call. We got one more call we're going to go to on the line, but you just hit something that gave me an idea, and I think I'm so glad for all the brothers and sisters that participated in this program, the ones sending emails, the ones on Facebook, the ones on the line, the ones listening on the air. Thank you particularly the ones that contributed tonight, though, because what you just said, and in conjunction with everybody else said, gave me an answer, and I think we're going to all appreciate that. So, sister, thank you for your call. Please continue to call in and support. We love you, and we'll definitely see you on the battlefield.
I'll see you on the battlefield, brother. Peace.
Peace. The sister just said something, and it really, really, really is resonating with me. And 5847, you stay on the line because you're going to be our last caller. Look like you calling in from Cali. We got to have some of them West Side. Got to have them in the house because we know they got some things to contribute. This is what we got to do, brothers and sisters. We're going to come up with it. We're going to put it up on our website, and we want you to make any suggestions you make of what you do. We're going to come up with suggested material for a person who's brand new into their consciousness. And we're going to start from what we think should be the first thing they should get, what should be the second thing they should get, what should be the third thing they should get, so that, in other words, instead of getting wacko-quacko stuff, when a person says, yeah, I'm just learning stuff, then what we do is stop them. No matter where they are, we stop and say, wait a minute. We know, because there's a lot of information that can become very confusing and confusing. We have a suggested way that people go into their consciousness so that they can get material that doesn't confuse them and that can really help them understand what's going on. I don't want to try to do that by myself, though, so I don't know how we're going to figure this out. We may do a program on it and maybe have some idea. I don't know exactly how we're going to do that, but we got to do that collectively, because what that does is that gives, like I know that The Great and Mighty Walk by Dr. John Henry Clarke, I know for a fact that's probably one of the first things that you should watch, but one way or the other is one of the early things because it's reasonable, it's concrete, it's brilliant, and even children. We've sat 5-year-olds down, and they love it. It's something about his storytelling ability. I think he was probably the best storyteller ever. That has people captivated with Dr. John Henry Clarke. He don't raise his voice or anything like that, but he tells history like it's a story, and he makes you love your own history. But at any rate, there are other stuff that are key bombshell things that you say, okay, this is what a person gets first, then they get this, then they get this, then they get this, and we'll call it the walk into consciousness. We'll tell them the first step by step by step by step by step by step which pieces that they should watch. And we may even separate it for men and women. So if you're a man, you're a woman, or if you're a young person. And we'll have the one that's a generic one, then one specifically for men, one specifically for women, one specifically for children. And we can help people walk into their consciousness without going all over the place and just getting whatever they see that they think they want to get that might contradict what it is they had before. So they won't be going around talking about, what the are you talking about? 5847, you live on Warner Horizon.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. You the last call, brother. You calling us in from the west side, so we happy to have you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that. This is my first time hearing the show, actually.
Okay. So how did you hear about us?
I did not. I was just updating stuff on my iTunes playlist, and I was going through radio stations, and I found y'all.
Okay.
So I appreciate it. I'm glad I did. Anyway, real quick, I know you don't have a lot of time. First of all, since I'll be working and on the road a lot, I want to know, is there a way I can listen to the show, like on my mobile device, like iPhone or whatever? Because I downloaded it. Go ahead, tell me how.
Okay. First of all, do you have, from your phone, do you have an auxiliary that will go into your radio? Like if you have something like that?
I do. But what if I'm just rolling around, like, at work, out of the car or whatever, on my phone, period. Like, I downloaded the 365 app, and I tried to get you from there, but it didn't come up. Is there a way to get it that way?
Okay, this is what happens. It's two ways to do it. All right. If we're not doing a live program, then you could go to your Live 365.
Okay.
And you can listen to it on your phone anytime. If we're doing a live program, then you have to call into the program to hear it from your phone.
Oh, okay, I can do that then. All right.
You can do if you have a radio in your car that takes like an iPod plug-in.
Yes, sir.
Auxiliary. You could take the earphone jack from your phone and plug it right into your auxiliary, into your radio, and you can even listen while you're driving around.
Got you. Also, do you rebroadcast on YouTube or anything like that?
We do. We have it's Angela Freeman.
Okay.
And if you go to Angela Freeman's page, you see a whole bunch of our stuff. Also, you can go to waronthehorizon.com. That's the name of our organization, War on the Horizon.
Right.
And our website is waronthehorizon.com. And if you go to the tab that says radio and TV,
right.
When you go down to the bottom, it's a whole bunch of programs. I'm going far back. It's 3 years ago when we interviewed Mabel Williams, the Mama Mabel Williams, wife of Robert F. Williams. We have all kinds of programs that we've done, so you can go back and get caught up just by going right to the website. So you can do it either way. You can go to YouTube, or you can go right to the website, the radio and TV page, and click right there and listen to the programs.
Excellent. Okay, real quick. I don't know if you went across it or not, because I just tuned in a little while ago. But in line with the concept of the show tonight, I'd like to know what's up with the NOI and the Scientology thing, because that's really, I don't know, man. I feel like that's very detrimental to our people. I was listening to a Pacifica station out here on Saturday, I think, yesterday or Friday, and they had a sister who had a show on the station, and they were talking about this health fair, and it was a lot of, brothers and sisters that's down with the NOI, which I'm not against that. I had a lot of respect for, but at the end of it, you can get all this knowledge at the Church of Scientology, and that just blew me away, so could you respond to that real quick, bro? And I'll listen to it off the air.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, brother. First time call. Love you. See you on the battlefield. Listen here. We got a few programs entitled. Matter of fact, we got one called Farrakhan and Scientology. So when you go on the radio and TV, you're gonna love that program because we spent 3 whole hours talking about that. It's supposed to be 2 hours, but it went over. The bottom line is, Mr. Farrakhan has sold out to integrating with the Europeans. I mean, there's not no two ways about it, no reason to sugarcoat it. He's integrated with the Europeans, joining it, dropped the teachings of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and now the Nation of Islam has become some weirdo Scientologist, Xeno Green, the whole, I don't know if you know the theology of it, but it's supposed to be some green Martian or Venus, he's from Venus, I think, some green Venus dude from so many trillions of years ago that flew down to Earth and left the planes and stuff because the planes didn't leave the Earth and stuff. And then they left. They tried to leave or some kind of weirdo stuff. And basically, you got to get your engrams. I guess you can eat those with cream or wheat or whatever. I don't know. It's some real weird mind control, be a punk, don't be a man type weird stuff. Give me money, pay for it. I make a lot of money, sucking the money out of the black community. Some real Jim Joneses type of weirdo, racial sellout type stuff Minister Farrakhan is doing with the Nation of Islam. And many of the older members are extremely upset, but they don't have anywhere to go. They've been doing this their whole life. Many of the younger members are either Negroes who just came in and are going with it, or don't want to turn against their leadership, so they're struggling with the insensitivity of or with the idea of trying to fight it when in reality they don't agree with it. So it's just a basic racial treason that's really unspeakable that's happening in front of our eyes, and it's very unfortunate because it's one of the strongest organizations our people have ever produced in the Western Hemisphere and produced some of our greatest giants. So not really that complex, but go listen to that program. You'll really enjoy it because people break it down a lot better than I just did. You'll really love that. So with that said, brothers and sisters, we're 5 minutes away from 10 p.m. We had a wonderful program. I really think people enjoyed it. We got to laugh a little bit, but also look at some real realities. And I think we came to some great conclusions. We got to have, here's some of the things we walked away with, these real recaps. I think they're important. One, Goodbye Uncle Tom is a good thing to show people, to deprogram them if they've gotten out into this weirdo stuff. Also, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Amos Wilson, for economics, to Dr. Claude Anderson. When people are off into the space age, supersonic, kundalini, chakras and stuff, and getting way out there past what is normal and reasonable, you can bring them back down to earth with some of that material. Two, we need to have a suggested reading and viewing list of DVDs, books, and so forth, what have you, in a very simplistic manner of what our people, if they just come into their consciousness, here, do this first, this second, this third, this fourth, this sixth, so that our people stay away from confusion and can do what we call get on the main line of consciousnness and African nationalism, so that they don't have to be weird and they don't get overwhelmed or get disparaged by hearing the wrong stuff too early. So I think that those are some great takeaways that we came away with from this program, as well as a few other takeaways that we came with from the program. And we definitely appreciate you for tuning in. This was great for us. And as always, brothers and sisters, sometimes we say some things, we may have offended some people with some of the things we said about some of the people that you might really enjoy listening to, but we don't do it for the purpose of being disrespectful. But at the same time, we didn't come here to be anybody's friend. We came here to save our race. We love you, and we will see you on the battlefield. War on the horizon. You gotta love it.
Sons of Amen. Amos. Tahaka. Calidosos of Mercuria. Delaney. Garvey. Elijah. Lumumba. Sankara. We're in a life or death struggle for survival. After all rivals, there'll be no reprisals. Up and down the Nile Valley, they don't understand how we took the pyramids with superior arithmetic. Whites on all fours in the woods, heavy like wolves. Scavengers, inhabitants of caves up in Europe. They were cannibalizing, sodomizing boys, breaking girls' hymens up. All the women were sexually taunted. When they saw the black male, they were desperate for it. When they touched down in Egypt, they detest when they saw it. The beautiful black queen, draped in the finer things. A true goddess on the throne right beside the king. And if she had to, represent the castle. Lasso up the elephant, propel us into battling. The blood of Africa was flowing all throughout her veins. Living quality, productive lives. Fathers of engineering. Math and science, the
masters blind. Whips and ain't hard to find. If you look through the lens, Chancellor Williams design. Destruction of the black civilization. We let them in as friends and they brought it to an end. But not before Tahuti Tutmosis, the ferocious, merciless, cutthroat. So adverse to this invasion. Enslaving of his people was he. Said he colonized the region, stopped the bleeding. All the prisoners of war he made drop to their knees and pray to Amun Ra. Cracker, who do you believe in? Not so much carnage laying on the battlefield site. People thought this is what the final days will feel like. In this life, Armageddon is remembered for bodies in Megiddo that Tahuti left dismembered. Daughters of Amun, Ahotep, and Zinga, Nanny of Jamaica, Yah and Satiwa, Harriet Tubman, Sister Soldier, crossing through the French Alps, killing all en route, Hannibal of Carthage, demolished all Roman targets. Told his father back when he was a toddler, Dad, I'ma fight Rome until my heart collapses. He acted, flaming spears sparking, lit the atmosphere's darkness, trafficking the airways. This was a deadly air raid. Hannibal's strategies of war for his cavalry. Let them in and circle them, to murder them, to nerve them, thinking they could conquer men of African times, like Calidosos of the Makiria tribe. In this period, a myriad of Arabs died. I magnify your serious, but laugh inside. Slash the eye of my Hotep. She was waging war. Invading hordes came into her home, waving swords. Her nephew Ra almost came pronto to his feelings in the hills. All the pure whites and mongrels terrified of white male. Fight until you can't hail. Queen Nzinga had the meanest demeanor, a true thinker, a true schemer. She planned battle carefully. Her men infiltrated slave traders, ranks insulated, stacked a new weaponry, smuggled it cleverly. I guess it had to be that African pedigree, like Yah Asante-Wa, Nanny of Jamaica, known for resisting past the cracker invaders. Nanny used white boys' teeth for bracelets. That shows you how deep her hatred had come. I pay tribute to the spirit of these warriors. Release